everyone, I am Zazubaar, and welcome to another episode of the Sons of Serizawa Podcast, episode 11, part 2. Yes, you are listening to a part 2, which is why I've come in here at the beginning to do a little bit of introduction to the podcast you are about to listen to. So, last week on the Zazubaar Film Productions channel, I uploaded the Sons of Serizawa Podcast, episode 11, part 1, which was our Christmas special for 2013. And it was just part 1 of a longer recording. If you listen back to that episode, you'll know that it starts off like a normal SOS episode. I do all the introductions and we talk for about an hour. But then at about an hour and 15 minutes in, it cuts off and I came back at the end to kind of wish everybody a Merry Christmas and stop it there. And that's because I wanted to split up the episode into 2 segments. One being the Christmas special, which you should go back and listen to if you haven't already, because 1, it's pretty good. And B, it's the first part of this same podcast to the recording you're about to listen to. So if you're one of those weirdos who's like, fuck the previous episodes, I just want to watch this one, just episode 11, part 2, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's a weird thing to do, but to each their own. So if you want to keep going, fair warning, you're jumping in the middle of a longer recording, and it's probably not going to make much sense to you. But if you listen back to the last episode, I'll be brief, since you probably already know all this already. So this is part 2 of episode 11. This was all supposed to be one giant Christmas special, but due to being really long, I decided to chop it up into 2 separate podcasts. So this is part 2, this is the final part, and this is our New Year's special for the Sons of Serizawa Podcast. We do a lot of New Year's things. We do a retrospective on the previous year, which constitutes a good majority of the episode. We talk about some things that are a little bit controversial, and we talked about other stuff, so it's a great episode. I won't keep you guys from it for too long, because I don't have a lot interesting to say. So, with bearing that in mind, I'm going to pop back in at the end to stop the recording and wish everybody a happy new year, and thank you for supporting the Sons of Serizawa for its first year of audio production. This episode does actually have an ending, but I'll come back in anyway, just because why not, and to kind of give it some closure, since I did that for the Christmas special as well. So, I think that's all I have to say in terms of disclaimers. No Dylan for this second recording. He was not able to come back in due to weather conditions, so he is not in this podcast at all, as he was in the first one. So, sorry Dylan, if you're listening. But he is referenced, and he'll get that later on. So without any further ado, let's dig into the Sons of Serizawa Podcast, episode 11, part 2, the New Year's special.
Andres, we're about an hour in, so you have a segment you want to do.
Oh,
That's not the general news update with Andres Perez.
Yep. Since this is going to be the last episode of the Sons of Serizawa podcast for 2013. Ever. Goodbye, everybody.
It's kind of like the last episode of ZGC was Waterloo, and that was a complete flop.
Thing.
That's why we're all dropping like flies, because I'm just fucking killing everybody one by one.
So since this is going to be like the final episode for 2013, I decided to have a year of kind of like a 2013 retrospective, looking at all the best and worst that this year has given us in terms of like movies, pop culture, all sort of stuff.
I'm interested.
So, okay. And so I'm just gonna go by this like month by month.
You're gonna be really disappointed for the one for November of 2013.
So we're gonna be going through this month by month, and the events within these months are not gonna be in chronological order. I just listed them.
The events within these months take place over the course of 24 hours. Events occur in real time.
Let's see. So here we go. 2013, a year in review. So the first event.
I don't have theme music for this. I apologize.
It's all right. So the first event we had was January, where I briefly explained this to you guys, where that like early in December of 2012 there was this video game that came out online on Steam called The War Z. It was this online game that was like a rip-off of another game called The DayZ, where you're a character, you're supposed to be surviving the zombie apocalypse. But The War Z was like, it felt like an unfinished game. You had to make like tons of in-game purchases just to even make the game function and have actual fun. The game was like glitchy. It had it had none of the things that the developers promised it would be. The developers were in fights on the internet with people who said bad things against it.
I definitely can't relate to that at all.
It was a complete.
Not at all, guys.
It was a complete and utter disaster, and in January those effects were still lingering on. And the War Z has been one of those biggest. Almost like biggest scandals in video games. Like,
I love it. Let me just say this. I love how this is the first of a year in review for 2013, where a lot of really important things happened globally. Like there was this game online that pissed a lot of people off.
Well, yeah, I try to do focus this on a pop cultural sort of thing, but
I know I'm just busting your balls.
Yeah. And then we move on to February, where we had the shortest-lived meme in history. I'm pretty sure you guys have already forgotten about this. The Harlem Shake.
Oh, that fucking meme.
I never saw this.
Wow, it was everywhere.
I know it was. I never clicked on any of these videos intentionally. I was curious, and I was like, for once in my life, I am going to not get involved in a meme. I want nothing to do with this.
Involved with this meme because it sucked.
I didn't even care. I was like, I don't give a shit.
It was just one of those random thing where you have a bunch of people. They're they're just acting casually in a room. Then you hear this one song, like you do the Harlem Shake, and then they're all dancing or doing some random stuff. Everyone's throwing papers in the air. Everyone's dressed in random costumes. I think my favorite one has to be one that takes place in a fire truck. You have 3 firemen. And then once the bass drops, then you see they're all dressed up like a chicken and Spider-Man and a cow.
Of course they are.
I hate
it. Was like the What Does the Fox Say of its time.
Oh, we'll get to the Fox later.
What does the fox say?
As a joke, I commented on... As a joke, I commented on that video, and again, I did this jokingly, I commented on that video going, wow, the amount of money it took to create this randomness could have saved someone's life. It was so dark, but I was like, somebody somewhere is going to laugh at that, but I got so much hate for it.
Of course, this is why we don't have a budget, because we know that money could go to other people.
Yeah, definitely. Shut up, S.H. Monster Arts Godzilla figure.
Let's see. Wait, we have Mothra and Batra coming up soon, along with we haven't.
I was like,
Monster Arts.
In the year in review, did Mothra and Batra attack somewhere, and I just didn't hear about it?
All right, so we go to March, where we have the one of the biggest video games to come out this year, BioShock Infinite, the 3rd installment in the BioShock series.
Which I'm a big BioShock fan. Did not play.
I loved it. Oh my god, it was like.
It sucked. It was such a letdown.
Really? Oh my god, I fell in love with it.
Such a letdown.
Nicola's a really big BioShock fan too, and she didn't like it.
She didn't or did not?
She didn't. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. That was rude.
So she did or she did not?
She did not like BioShock.
Really? Wow.
My friend Charles Clark, who's a huge gamer, the first BioShock game is his favorite game of all time.
I love it too.
He obsesses over that game like I obsess over the 3 Mass Effect games.
and he was so utterly let down with BioShock Infinite.
Really?
Even
the ending?
Down to like it came down to like it for the longest time it was between that and The Last of Us, and I so glad The Last of Us wound up winning, but
wait, winning what?
Well, just in terms of like numbers and in terms
sales.
The race for shit. No, I know that's a really good game. I'm just kidding.
I just know that with BioShock, it was like it had a very long development history, and they even threw out like they had like a lot of concepts, but then they threw out those concepts, and if you combine all the rejected concepts, that was like enough content to create 3 games. So I guess that goes to show you like when they were making this game, they were like in my opinion, because I love this game, I think it's a complete masterpiece, and I agree with what all the critics say, and I feel like it truly shows that they were actually trying to put all their effort into creating not just a good game, but a fantastic game that would blow expectations.
Well, it didn't blow up my expectations.
Oh, but here's the thing. It takes place in an alternate... It establishes the fact that this is an alternate reality.
Then I don't care at all. I'm sorry, but...
Okay, here's a spoiler. I'm going to make a big spoiler here.
I probably know all of them already. Nickel went on an hour-long tangent about how much he hated it. So
you have a character that can travel through time and different dimensions, and they end up going
time
back...
and space?
Yeah, time and space, and they actually go to Rapture, like the underwater city of Rapture.
In a blue box.
Also, there's near the end of the year, there was that Burial at Sea DLC pack, where you're actually in the mainstream BioShock universe.
You're in Rapture. That was cool.
Yeah, it's a film noir look, so that, of course, I'm, like, all about that.
It's Rapture before shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
I've seen that, though. I mean, in BioShock 2, they showed that. I don't know. I just... Here's my thing. I didn't expect to be interested when I saw the first trailer, and when it came out, I still wasn't interested. So there was no disappointment there. I was like, I don't care. It doesn't take place in Rapture. And to be honest, I didn't love BioShock 2 anyway, so I don't know.
BioShock 2, I liked BioShock 2 because it expanded what I had for questions on BioShock 1. But yeah,
it's not bad.
BioShock 1, you will never be able to top.
I mean, it is a masterpiece.
BioShock 1 is a masterpiece.
Yes,
I mean, absolutely.
Yes. It's one of my
But again,
here's the thing,
BioShock 2 is not a bad game. It's just simply you can't live up to BioShock.
Right.
And if you try, you're going to not succeed. Not fail, but not succeed.
Well, here's the thing. It did something different. It wasn't trying to replicate BioShock. It took the same concepts and ideas, but tried to go in a different direction.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not saying it's bad for that. I'm just saying that's why I didn't play it.
Okay.
I'm not saying, oh, fuck BioShock Infinite for doing that. I'm like, I just didn't play it. I didn't play it. I don't know if it sucks. I'm just saying what I've heard. Nicola hated it. Big BioShock fan.
I hated the controls.
Really?
The controls.
So I have no opinion here.
Okay. Well, the last thing I want to say is that I'm not a big first-person shooter fan, but mostly because like most first-person shooters are like very military, very realistic setting, and that's not really my thing. But
clearly, you haven't played Call of Duty.
Right. I don't play Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is a good case of.
Oh, I love Modern Warfare 2. Everything else after that is shit.
Those Modern Warfare games, they don't appeal to me, as well as like Battlefield and all that stuff. And because I guess when it comes to video games, I'm more like a more fantasy sort of thing, more unrealistic. And more
they're not emotional enough for me. No.
And like the thing is with BioShock, it was a very escapist sort of setting. I love this stuff.
Now you see, Andres, this is what surprises me. I'm surprised you're not into the Mass Effect games.
Well, it's just that I don't have I just haven't had a chance to get into them, and plus the first Mass Effect that was like an Xbox 360 exclusive, right?
Yeah, but now it's a PS3. It's now for multi-platforms now.
Oh, right. So you see, by the time Mass Effect 2 and 3 came out, I was like, okay, well, I haven't had a chance to play the first one.
I only played, I played Mass Effect. I was only able to play Mass Effect 2 and 3 for the longest time, and I still fell in fucking love with these games. So when I finally got the Mass Effect trilogy, and I got the first game, all of them, and I got to play it through, it just made me fall in love with the games even more. And now I'm getting Fallout.
Okay.
And so I'm like,
oh dude, you're getting Fallout?
Well, I'm getting Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas.
Oh my god, that's one of my favorite games of all time. I fucking love Fallout 3.
All right.
And that's my sacred cow, man. New Vegas is good. It's not as good as 3. I am awaiting Fallout 4 with bated breath.
Okay, so I guess moving on to the next event, we have this very controversial music video, which is Ramen Thick's "Blurred Lines." It's a reason why I bring this up because it's like this one song that has appeared like everywhere on the radio. One of those things where you can't avoid it no matter how hard you try. And after the thing is, we actually like listened to this. We watched this music video in one of my film classes to learn about symbols, indexes, and
something.
What?
How not to do something? No.
Oh no, we're just
listen. Don't do this.
The
professor is like, look, kids, I show you a lot of good stuff in this class. A lot of stuff that I think would inspire you. Today I'm going to show something that will inspire you as well. Inspire you to fail. Don't fucking do this. Don't be an idiot. Wait, okay, here's the thing. Yeah. I haven't seen this. What the fuck is this?
Well, basically it's this... it's kind of really weird because Robin Thicke, he's a married man, yet you see him in this music video. It's like very plain looking. They're all in front of a white background. The women are treated as merely objects of desire, and the thing is blurred lines. I think it's supposed to be like the blurred line between consent and rape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really about rape. Yes, it's David's new theme song now.
What? Okay.
No, yeah.
Which song are you talking about?
Blurred Lines.
I never heard of it.
Me neither.
Me neither.
So we should consider ourselves lucky.
I guess so.
Yes. It's a horrible, misogynistic song.
Andres,
yes, yeah.
Is this that song that appeared on the 2013 MTV Awards with Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is that it? Oh, okay, I have seen this.
Yeah,
I didn't know that
where Robin Thicke was dressed up like Beetlejuice and stuff.
I have seen this.
Okay, never mind. Then I have heard of it. But that's the.
Oh my God, Andres, this is so funny. You said they brought it up in school for you.
Yeah,
they brought it up in school for me too. When I first started the semester, I went to orientation.
Yeah.
And of course, when you're starting a new school at a college, they have to go into sexual harassment and all that stuff. So we go into this room. Mm-hmm. It's me and my class.
Yeah.
They're fucking like, oh, don't sexually harass people. I was like, no. And
they need to bring out sexual harassment panda.
And I literally just got up and went in the microphone and said, no. And so at some point, now on Twitter, I had made several remarks about how. Who gives a shit about this Miley Cyrus thing?
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
Hang on.
Oh,
so I tweeted about this, and then like a couple days after I tweeted about it, I'm in orientation, and the professor is like, "So I want to ask you guys a question to test your knowledge. Was that music video sexual harassment?" And it was that moment I said, "Oh shit." And I literally just turned my brain off and just ignored it. And I was like, oh, God, why does this keep following me? So I thought that was funny. But I haven't seen the full video. I just know of it through, like, the news and stuff.
Well, I've tried my best to avoid most, 90% of current music. But we saw this video in one of my classes because we were analyzing symbols.
We were analyzing shit.
We were analyzing symbols. And we were looking at music videos to analyze symbols, and so we were looking at a bunch of contemporary music videos to look at signs and indexes, and I forgot what was the third. Well, I forgot what was the third form of symbols, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that was how I was exposed to blurred lines, and it reminded me why I hate current music.
Again, I haven't seen the video. I know of it. I'm not a fan.
Okay, so let's see.
Oh, I also was I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about movie news, and they were talking about how there was this picture released recently of Robin Thicke at the MTV Music Awards, or was it? I don't remember. It was one of the award shows, and he was taking a picture with some people. And he was looking at one of the girls he was taking a picture with, and he had this gigantic boner just sticking out of his suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this guy cannot get a break. So I thought that was funny.
So moving on, I like to talk about another song that was popular this year. This is a song that I actually enjoyed, and it was like the one song I really...
This is the Andres Music Show.
I enjoyed listening to, which was the song Get Lucky by Daft Punk, because in April,
I hate that song!
Oh, you do? Oh, I love it.
Andres is getting shit on this episode. I like Bioshock Infinite. Adam's like, I fucking hate it.
Who we are. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to die?
Do you want to die, Andres? Do you want your rights of an SOS member revoked?
No, please, master. Don't kick me off the podcast.
Yeah, you're not going to get any seconds either.
But yeah, I just want to quickly mention that this was the year where...
Please, I got children to feed. Don't kick me out of the podcast.
I just want to say that Andres mentioned that one song we tried to avoid, Get Luck, whatever that stupid song by Daft Punk is. That's the song for me that I tried to avoid.
Well,
I haven't heard any of this. I feel so out of touch. You know why though?
Because you're not a music person.
That, and I was also in production on a movie at the time, so that explains why I haven't heard of it.
I know, I lost so much pop culture stuff because I was working on a movie, and then when I was looking back in retrospective of the year, I was like, I'm very glad that I didn't miss, I'm very glad that I missed all of this.
Thank God for creativity, Adam. Internet high five. There you go.
Well, yeah, I just want to briefly mention that. I recently became a Daft Punk fan, but I was first exposed to Daft Punk through Toonami when they were showing music videos for what was that song? One More Time, because they Daft Punk, they had an anime movie where all the audio was their songs from their latest album.
Well, for the record, the last thing good that Daft Punk has done for me is the soundtrack for Tron Legacy.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree as well.
So it's been a while since their last album, and so this was the year where they came out with their... Excuse me, would you please allow me to finish? Wow, now I know what it feels like to be David.
Excuse me.
So
poked and I finally got it out of him. I got the rage. You guys see what I did there?
Yeah. So this was
months of hard work.
This is the year when they had their final, not their final, they had their most recent album, Random Access Memories, and this was the album where they collaborated with a lot of 70s artists, both in disco and in techno music. And so they kind of have this like blend of different old, kind of like it's a very old school style of music when it came to this album. And this is like the one thing I was able to tolerate all year. And I would always love listening to this song on the radio every day during the summer at work.
I haven't heard it, so I can't comment.
So moving on.
No, I will anyway.
So moving on, I would like to. This is a more sad story where sadly we had the world-renowned film critic Roger Ebert, who passed away at the age of 70. Of course, Roger Ebert being like possibly like the guy who made film criticism a legit profession. He was an inspiration to many people, and he was definitely a hero of mine. And I was incredibly sad to hear hear the news about his passing, and I'm just happy knowing that he is, hopefully up there with Gene Siskel, still talking about movies in that great big movie theater in the sky. And yeah, he was definitely
I just want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I was not sad when I heard that he died because I found that he was such a goddamn hypocrite when he reviewed movies that it wasn't even funny. So I never really took him seriously at all.
I did not agree with him on much, but I respect what he did for the industry a lot.
Me too. That's the difference there.
I would say that. Yeah.
Even though I found myself listening to Siskel whenever he spoke more than I would listen to him, more than Ebert. I don't know if it's just because he's kind of like that snob kind of deal, but.
I mean, the whole thing is they're both very much so. I mean, Roger Ebert made me a little bit more so. They were very much so kind of, we're better than the industry we critique. But at the same time, they definitely had this profound love of cinema that definitely was expressed through their critiques. And again, I agreed with them on very little. But at the same time, their chemistry was fantastic, and that show turned film criticism into something that you could profit off of, but also something that could be entertaining. Like, I don't know if we'd be doing what we're doing right now without what he did for film criticism. I mean, we all met through reviewing and discussing films, so I mean, we have to at least give the man that.
And he was definitely the inspiration for me wanting to become a professional film critic, hopefully in the future. And the thing is, my grandmother, she used to listen to at the movies with Ebert and Siskel all the time, and she would, as a little kid, she would always tell me whether a movie got like a 2 thumbs up or 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down. I didn't know what she was talking about because I didn't watch the show, and unfortunately, it wasn't until after she unfortunately passed away I got into reviewing movies and becoming a fan of Ebert and Siskel. So I guess in a way, I thank my grandmother for getting me into movies, because she was inspired by them to go to the movies more often, and she took my sister and I to the movies almost every Friday. And so I think, in a way, I think if it wasn't for Ebert, Roger Ebert and Siskel, I wouldn't be the big movie geek that I am today.
Definitely icons in the industry. David, any remarks?
I really don't want to be the dick in the group because I have nothing positive to say about Roger Ebert.
Yeah, that's like me. That's like me. You and I are on the same wavelength here, Dave.
All I'll say this, okay, and this is not like kind of like a stab at him, but I just think that anybody can.
Well, you can't take a stab at a dead man. You take a shovel.
Okay. Not to disrespect his quote unquote legacy, and I take that with a grain of salt. But anyone can talk about movies, and it's all basically at the very foundation of it, just expressing your opinion about a movie, and anybody can do that. But Roger Ebert is the one that got a TV deal, and that's how he became famous. Because back then they call someone like Roger Ebert a film critic. Today they could call you a troll.
It's true. Mm-hmm. I think without him being one of the first, that I don't know if we have that population today. I mean, it is true.
Yeah. And I do
with the changing of the times, it's very easy to do what they did. But I mean, the mark of genius is doing something simple before anyone else thought of doing it.
I'm not like. You did mention that like anyone can talk about movies, but I think it requires a certain amount of style, like in presentation, as to how you approach this field.
Yeah, I'm not denying that Siskel and Ebert made a film criticism a professional thing, or even inspired millions of people like you, Andres, to pursue this thing. I'm not denying that, but hypothetically speaking, if these guys didn't become professional film critics, we probably would have. There still would have been critics in the future. I just think that Roger Ebert and Siskel, they just kind of made that leap, that like an early leap before I mean, eventually, even without Ebert or Siskel, with the invention of the internet, someone was bound to post a film review. It could be a nobody with a movie deal, and that could have become famous. And it's like the same basic principle as someone making a meme and that becomes famous, and someone imitates that same thing. That would have happened with or without Siskel and Ebert in terms of film criticism. But I agree that they are the ones who kind of made that thing where this could be a professional thing.
I think they made it able to stand on its own, because if you look at film criticism that was on camera before that, it was all segments of larger shows. It was all the news programs always had the movie critic of the week and stuff. Like Mr. Movie Phone is that way. I think what Siskel and Ebert did so well was make it like we can do this for a half hour and people will watch it and we can make it interesting. So I think that's where the legacy part comes in, because nobody had done that before them.
Yeah.
Nobody was able to do it as a half-hour show. So I think that's where their kudos is deserved. Again, it's something that would have eventually happened anyway if the internet like they did it at the right time. I think is the way to put it. I think what would have been different without them is style and presentation, because again, they were able to do it as a TV show, self-contained. I mean, if film criticism had gone on without them being a part of it, I don't know if we would have that kind of like, we can do this as an entertaining show in and of itself without something else. But maybe we would have. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I also want to
definitely deserve some kind of respect.
Yeah. I also want to say that. I also want to say the main reason why I kind of don't like Roger Ebert is because he gave Godzilla, the original, a negative review.
Yeah.
And okay, and here's the thing.
He was very biased towards the kaiju genre in general. Although you do have to say, there are a lot of film people out there with different tastes in film. And so, of course, everyone has their own biases against particular genres, be it music or television.
Yeah, mine's the action genre.
Film. Yeah.
Right. But the thing the thing with Ebert is that he, at least this is what I got out of his review. He didn't like Godzilla because it wasn't the dumb, goofy, cheesy character that he believed it to be.
And that's why I lost pretty much all respect for that man.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. He's a really big hypocrite, but I still say that I never grew to hate him, because I'm like, I don't care what his opinion is. It bothers me, but at the same time, again, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah,
so.
I can honestly say that I will not miss him.
I see.
Harsh words from Adam.
So I guess
Adam ain't got no time for that.
So I guess
yes, you do. Yeah, you're right. You ain't got no time for that. That's why I said I'm not going to miss him, and that's my opinion.
So I guess moving on, there's another incident in April where it's like an internet-related thing. Where, have you guys ever heard of a video streaming website called Twitch?
No.
Okay, well, it's sort of like YouTube, I guess, where you can, but I guess a lot of people use it for video game streaming, and they can get revenue from it. And there was this user by the name of Zillion OP who he was in a wheelchair. I think he was claimed he was some sort of Iraq war veteran or something, and he would always get a lot of donations, and of course he had his Twitch revenue to the point where he accumulated over $20,000 worth of donations and revenue. And it turns out that in one video he stood up from his wheelchair and walked about without realizing that his webcam was still on. And so this idiot here scammed his entire audience into giving him money for out of pity or something, when he could walk the entire time.
It's like fucking Eddie Murphy from Trading Places.
No, I'm glad you guys are laughing at this, because I find this no laughing matter. I take my soldiers seriously. I take the people that put their goddamn fucking lives on the line every fucking day so that we can do this wonderful goddamn podcast.
Oh, definitely.
Pretty goddamn seriously. And
I'm just laughing at what an idiot this guy. Yeah, I'm just laughing at what an idiot this guy is.
Dipshit tit fuck.
Oh, totally.
Scams so many people and lies that he is a war vet and that he got wounded over in Iraq and stuff like that. I draw the line. This is a horrible human being.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. I'm not denying that.
If he was just scamming these people, he's a horrible human being. Add to the fact that he was impersonating a soldier.
Oh, definitely. Fuck this guy.
You are a horrible human being, and I hope you rot in hell.
I mean, it's just disgusting. I mean, aside from
this disgusts me beyond belief.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he definitely got what he deserved by making that dumbass mistake. But here's the big thing. It's like, A, you're scamming people, and B, and that's bad in and of itself, but you're also scamming people by claiming something that you have no rights to do, but also you're making I'm trying to fucking put it into words. It's like, okay, so you've got all these soldiers putting their lives on their lines every day, like Adam said, and then a lot of them come home and, widely reported on, a lot of them don't get the treatment that they rightfully deserve after what they do for us. Whether it be, treatment by the public or treatment by, their superiors or whatever for what they fucking did. And they don't, you don't see a lot of them bitch about it or fucking go out there and, say, oh, help me. And then you've got this fucking guy. And if they do that, they have a right to do it, definitely, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them have more respect for themselves than that. And then you got this fucking guy rocking his Duck Dynasty beard, fucking gets out of a fucking wheelchair.
Oh, so you have seen this.
It's like, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Definitely.
All right, yeah.
But I mean, I was laughing more at the idiocy of, like, really? You didn't see the light was still on? Ugh.
He's trying to claim that he fell shortly afterwards.
Yeah, definitely.
You can clearly see in the aquarium, in the like little aquarium fish tank, his reflection, him still walking.
How do you fall in a manner that looks like you're walking straight? Shouldn't you be tipping over?
How can you fall in a course directional pattern? He gets up, steps forward, and then walks to the right, avoiding the wheelchair as he steps over it. That's not falling.
Also, somebody put a picture, like a little cartoon of this person walking away walking away. No, it's him walking away with 2 bags of cash. Wait,
Andres, do you have any more information? Like, what happened to him after this? Was he prosecuted for fraud?
Let's see. I'm just gonna check.
I'm assuming something must happen.
I knew his Twitch account was immediately terminated. Let's see.
Was money returned? Did he was he fined, or what happened to this?
The Twitch broadcaster Zillion OP did indeed have his channel closed and his partnership contract terminated on the basis of fraud. Moving forward, we'll be offering refunds to those who subscribe to his channel through Twitch. We have zero tolerance for this type of behavior, and the character demonstrated in this situation is truly reprehensible, says a Twitch spokesperson from an article on Kotaku. Let's see.
But what about, like, actual prosecution or
let's see,
legal stuff, not just the policy of the company?
I couldn't find any information on that. I just know that he was, like, banned from Twitch and that all his donations...
That's not fucking enough!
I know.
This is financial fraud!
I know.
Like, there are laws against this shit!
I don't know if that sort of stuff ever happened to him, but I know that, like, if something ever did happen to him, if there were ever, like, legal charges, I would not be surprised.
There must have been. There had to have been. I guarantee it. Especially if it's fucking public online.
Oh, and apparently the money was allegedly spent on various electronic items, a $2,000 wheelchair, and $5,000 to move houses, and so he can live with live nearer with his girlfriend.
Wait, he bought a new wheelchair with that money?
Yes. He had to keep up appearances.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just want to say right now, because you guys are talking about retrospect and stuff, and I wanted to get my mind off of this before I got really angry, and I was looking back at the history of Compound of Chaos. This pretty much described the production of Compound of Chaos in a nutshell. This picture.
The sun bear rises. What the?
What?
Okay, Adam, I think I'm missing some sort of interpretation. Please explain.
That pretty much describes the production of Compound of Chaos in a nutshell, and so does this picture.
What the fuck?
I don't get it.
So are you trying to say that the production was busty or something?
Are you trying to say you guys shot a porno secretly without anybody knowing?
Are you saying that it was sexually explicit?
It was motorboat. Oh, are you saying that it was raped or something?
Yes. Yeah.
I was raped on the set of Compound of Chaos.
Did you guys look at the next picture?
No.
Look at it.
Are you saying that it got motorboated?
Look at the next page here.
I'm afraid at this point. Ah, damn it. Why did I have to see this?
Thanks for the nightmares.
You're welcome.
Looks like
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Looks like now we know what happened. The first thing Adam's going to do when he meets David for the first in real life.
Thanks for even more nightmares.
First things first.
For those of you listening at home, we're looking at a picture of Adam sucking some dude's tit. Is basically what we're looking at. Just bluntly as I can describe it.
I guess.
Stuff down that guy's shirt.
Wait, what are those?
Balloons? Yeah, they're balloons.
I figured.
So I guess.
I love how he's just standing like, check out my tit.
Well, that's him. That's him. He actually said that. He's like, look at my ball. It's like
did he fondle them?
It looks like I'm giving my freaking tripod a blowjob. I'm just like,
I remember you showed me that a while ago. Yeah.
You showed me that a while ago.
Production, as I said, production on Compound of Chaos was not fun.
Trace, what month did you say we were in? What month was this?
Oh, we're on April.
This was also the month where I shot the first scene for Werewolf Carl Place.
Nice.
This was when I started to rewrite, once again, Compound of Chaos.
First scene we shot was in late April. We shot the train scene, and it was fucking freezing outside.
Oh, cry me a fucking river.
Going back to that second picture. And you guys say, going back to that second picture, and you guys saying that that's probably how Adam will be when he meets me. I have a funny feeling that if that does happen, some situation like this will go down.
Oh, Jesus.
Watch the whole clip.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no.
What is this?
No.
Oh.
I really hope that does happen, because if it does, I will be filming it and it will go on my YouTube channel. Screaming in pain.
So I guess moving on to the next story, get ready, folks, for some emotional whiplash as we turn to something that's pretty dark. Which is the Boston Marathon bombings that took place with...
Okay, I actually... My God, why am I laughing at this?
I know.
I gotta tell you this story.
Jesus Christ.
It was only 2
Why are you laughing so maniacally? I'm so scared right now.
It was only 2 weeks. It was only 2 weeks after the bombings happened, and my ROTC program, we took a trip down to Battleship Cove, which is right by Boston, and we were learning Morse code, and somebody typed up, "There's a bomb," and suddenly I said, "Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb." And everybody is laughing, including the instructor, and then I'm sitting there like, all at the same time.
Oh my God! People died here.
Soon.
5 people.
5 fucking soon.
5 people died. 280 injured.
All right, so let me just put some perspective, like one of those "where were you on that day" kind of situations. I was sitting in a doctor's office, getting a checkup for applying for school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing it on the news, and guess what I was reading?
What?
A James Bond story about disassembling a nuclear bomb. It's like, oh shit.
That's freaky.
It was really freaky, and I immediately jumped to the internet to go, oh shit, what's going on? And I saw, you see all these posts and shit, and one post that I saw that always angers me, always pisses me off, is one of those guys who just goes, oh, this isn't sad, this happens all the time, and you people shouldn't be weeping for it because it happens all the time overseas. I'm just like, that's true, but I'm not allowed to feel bad for it just because I know about it? You know what I mean? Like, I hate it. Here's the thing. Here's something that pisses me off. I hate it when people use tragedy to advance their own viewpoint, like their own political beliefs. Like, especially the day fucking of that it happens. Like, it really angers me. Like, you can't think of anything else to say except advancing your own fucking political viewpoint. Just fucking feel bad for these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just feel some fucking sympathy for the loss of human life and fucking wait for your fucking political shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was so mad when I saw that post. I don't remember if I commented or not, but I was extremely angry.
Mm-hmm.
It was a horrible, horrible event.
The sad thing was, like, I have a friend of mine who attends MIT, and so as soon as I heard the news, I immediately contacted my friend and see if she was okay. And I think also there was, like, the two people that were responsible for the bombings. They shot and killed a security guard who was also working at MIT. So
did your friend know him?
My friend, what?
Did your friend know him, like, personally?
Oh, no. My friend did not know them personally, but she was there at MIT when the entire the entire institute was on lockdown.
Oh my god!
I think I may be wrong, but I think she was when she was texting me, she was telling me she was in her dorm room and where, like, everyone was, like, locking the doors and everyone was, like, staying, like, indoors.
Right.
It was just a very scary time because I was concerned about her safety the entire time.
I was gonna say something. I honestly, more vividly than the bombings itself, in terms of watching the news as it unfolded. I mean, I watched it fairly religiously when it happened,
mm-hmm.
but even more religiously because it was on when I was working,
mm-hmm.
was what happened afterwards, the hunt for these two fucking monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what pisses me off. Obama liked to take credit for it when really it wasn't. It was the fucking Boston police. It was the goddamn... It was the Massachusetts people that took care of it, not fucking Obama, like he likes to say it was. But, yeah, I saw the footage of them kicking down doors. Basically, Boston was in martial law.
Yeah.
It was literally like a fucking war. I mean, it was insane.
Which I have mixed feelings about, but that's one way to do it, and it's probably the best way to do it.
I mean, they got it done.
They got it done, but I mean, I have mixed feelings about martial law. But yeah.
Yeah, I just remember how insane it was, just the chaos around both the bombing itself, and then even more so the hunt for the two monsters that did this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really insane. How long was the span? I mean, I don't remember. It was so many months ago. Was it a week? Was it a week between the bombing itself and the day that Boston was put in martial law? How long was it?
I'm sorry. I would not. It was
a week. It was about a week.
It was yeah. I mean, it was an insane week. Yeah. So terrible time.
Right. It's definitely like. Yeah, a real tragedy.
Andres, please tell me you have a happy story to follow these two fucking depressing.
Sorry.
Just down notes.
I feel like we need to get rid of. I feel like it's like a Band-Aid. We need to get rid of all these just quickly.
Christ,
for the next one,
next?
The death of Ray Harryhausen.
You heartless monster.
Heartless bastard. Can we just stop this?
Oh, all right. Let's touch on this briefly because Adam and I did a whole video on it.
Right.
I will always say Jason and the Argonauts is my favorite Ray Harryhausen movie.
I mean, again, a legend, insanely inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, two inspirational pop culture figures died who did not like Godzilla in 1 year. That's incredibly ironic, but...
And the year before the new Godzilla reboot comes out, it's cursed.
Yeah, ain't that fucked up?
I mentioned this to you before, I think it was like a couple days ago, Bill, where it's like we have these people who have been with us throughout our whole lives, and they have grown so old. You kind of have this delusion that they're always going to be there. And Ray Harryhausen, he died at he was like 90 or 95 when he died. And
Harryhausen especially.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
They're never
going to die. They're never going to die as long as their movies are made, or as long as their movies are shown on TV, as long as their movies are made on DVD. They're never going to fucking die.
Right. There will always be people who will read Ray Bradbury stories. There will always be people who will watch Ray Harryhausen films, and there will always be people who will watch reruns or rewatch segments of the movies.
I love the relationship between Ray Harryhausen and Ray Bradbury.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like when Ray Bradbury accepted the Academy Award because Ray Harryhausen couldn't be there, and Ray Bradbury was bawling his eyes out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah, they had one of those relationships. I mean, I just love the story. I watched.
They had a relationship that reminded me a lot of Ishiro Honda and Akira Kurosawa.
Well, I was watching this documentary recently, and for the life of me, I can't remember, but it was about Ray Harryhausen. It was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about... I don't remember. Great documentary. And there was this point where Bradbury is talking about how Ray Harryhausen took him into his garage as teenagers and showed him his dinosaurs. And I was like, oh my god, it's like this origin of a legend. Just like, oh. I mean, to say this guy was an insane inspiration is an understatement. We wouldn't have modern spectacle cinema without...
We wouldn't. Without Ray Harryhausen. We wouldn't.
No, we wouldn't. I mean, ask any goddamn filmmaker, and they'll tell you, oh, we wouldn't have modern Hollywood without Ray Harryhausen.
Again, Ijit Tsuburaya. I mean, his was Willis O'Brien more than Ray Harryhausen, but he mentioned Ray Harryhausen a lot.
Yeah. Of course, of course, the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms serves as inspiration for why Godzilla is like a reptilian monster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Originally, Godzilla was supposed to be an octopus.
Yeah.
So we got to thank him for that.
Good thing he didn't watch It Came From Beneath the Sea first.
Yeah, exactly.
I never liked that movie.
I haven't seen it in fucking years.
I never really liked that movie.
I forgot everything. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I think I seen it once, and all I remember, I remember it was just a generic. I remember Kenneth Tobey being in it, and the only reason why I knew that was because he played in The Thing from Another World.
I remember remembering it as like, I remember it as vividly as I remember like The Giant Behemoth. Like it's one of those movies where I remember seeing it. I don't remember.
I love The Giant Behemoth. I fucking love The Giant Behemoth.
That was Willis O'Brien, right?
Yeah, it was Willis O'Brien.
That's a weird one.
It's basically an unofficial remake of Beast in 20,000 Fathoms.
Really weird.
It was directed by the same guy.
It was.
That's really weird when you are part of a film that's a remake to a film your student worked on.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Willis O'Brien's story is tragic. That his story is just fucking tragic, but. And, the only reason why Gwanji was made was because Ray Harryhausen said this movie is for Willis O'Brien, because that was Willis O'Brien's pet project, the Valley of Gwanji, and that was the only reason. Yeah, the only reason why it was made was because Ray Harryhausen wanted to make it for Willis O'Brien.
I remember hearing that in the documentary, yeah.
I guess we're ready to move on. This is a little bit... This is like a big movie where we're in May, and this is the start of the summer blockbuster season. And what better way to start the summer blockbuster season than with Iron Man 3, the first Marvel movie to come out since The Avengers.
Was it the first?
Was it?
Oh yeah, I guess it was.
Well, the first in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I mean.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it happened. I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters.
Same here, but I remember I highly praised the film. I loved it.
I liked it better than Iron Man 2. I'll give it that much.
I know a lot of people have given this movie a lot of crap for its twist ending about the villain, but I personally...
Twist midway.
Twist midway, yeah, the twist about the villain, I meant to say. The twist about the villain, a lot of people do not like it or have serious issues with it. I personally really enjoyed that twist.
Not a big fan of the twist.
Can I say something about the twist?
Go ahead.
And I'm one of the few people who's like highly against it, and I'm probably one of the few people who just thought that the twist killed the overall movie for me.
I agree.
I haven't felt this way since Zilla 98, and that's saying something.
Wow.
Whoa, big words. I don't know if I go that far, but yeah.
But I'm about to get into it. Why? Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't have a problem with the twist at all. If anything, I would be all for the twist. I understand the concept behind it. The whole concept that Shane Black explained to Kevin Feige, the president at Marvel, is that, okay, what if, hypothetically speaking, let's say that, Osama bin Laden wasn't really who he was. He was just a proxy for, like, the American government. That was the pitch that they sold, and they bought it, and they went with it. I wouldn't mind that at all, especially with an Iron Man film, and especially with a character like the Mandarin. My problem with is the execution with it. They treated it as it was a joke? A joke, a comedic thing. And if you did it very much more serious, if you took it serious and much more like in depth, I would be fine with it. But the problem is, like a majority of the film, it was a big joke.
It was, and what makes it worse is the story building up to that reveal is fucking excellent. The opening 45 minutes of Iron Man 3 are really strong.
I would say this. The film did an excellent job foreshadowing certain themes about the movie, like the fact that the Chinese cookies and the Chinese theater in Hollywood are not actually Chinese. They're American-made products.
And they're hollow and full of lies.
Yeah.
Great line. Mm-hmm. Here is the problem. Here's why Iron Man 3 really failed for me. Mm-hmm. All that shit is awesome. It is vanished from the movie in the last part of the film. Mm. After Iron Man 3 makes that twist, it becomes a completely different movie. And here's the problem. Mm-hmm. You spend the first 45 minutes of your movie getting your audience integrated into a story and into the universe, and into what's going on with Tony Stark and with the Mandarin. And then after 45 minutes, you tell them all that stuff was bullshit, and you have to get reinvested into the story for different villains, for a different plot altogether, and it's just jarring for an audience. And the other thing is the film is spending a lot more time trying to make you laugh than it is trying to get you reinvested. That's the problem with Iron Man 3. It is a really good idea executed poorly. And Iron Man 3 is filled with good ideas. I think a lot of them are executed poorly. The best thing about the movie, just bar none, is Tony Stark. I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance is as good as it was in the first movie. As revolutionary as that was, it's equal in Iron Man 3 with what's done with the character. Because it's like the complete opposite of, or a complete progression in and of itself of what was going on in the first one. Because the first one was all about not being responsible at all, and the third one is about being overly responsible. And I really dig that kind of that contrast. The movie it's in is the problem. And also, I fucking hate that ending with a passion. It makes no goddamn sense, and I have no idea what it's supposed to mean. So
how you just described the ending of Iron Man 3 is basically how I felt about Mass Effect 3's ending.
Well, it's like, okay, so this whole movie is about him kind of letting go. Not like the movie tricks you into thinking, oh, this is like the last Iron Man story ever. I'm like, we have 2 more Avengers movies after this. So I don't know what you're talking about, Shane Black. So he gets the arc reactor removed after all this shit in Avengers about how it's like it defined his life and all this stuff. It gets removed for no goddamn reason, and he blows up every single piece of Iron Man armor he has. For fuck knows. I have no idea why he thinks he has to do this. I really didn't get the ending of Iron Man 3. Maybe I'll like it more this go around when I watch it when I get it on DVD, but I don't know. I was not a fan.
I see. Well, you two have both brought up very valid, strong claims. I mean, not strong claims, but strong points. And I see where you're coming from. I guess for me personally, I was really invested with Tony Stark's character. I guess he was the one that made the movie very enjoyable for me to the point where I can forgive its shortcomings.
You also got to give it props for doing a child genius better than any other movie has done recently. Mm-hmm. Like, movies very often get that wrong. They do it very, very poorly.
Yeah.
this movie did it fairly well. The only problem with it is, like, this kid is a major part of the story for about 20 minutes, and then he just vanishes.
You want to know how to do a child genius?
How do you do a child genius, Adam?
Watch N from Death Note.
Yeah.
I will. I want to say another thing. I was really, 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 really disappointed with this film because, okay, at first I wasn't going to, like, hype myself over another Iron Man film. Okay, don't get me wrong. I loved Iron Man 2. I'm actually the minority of those who actually love Iron Man 2.
I like Iron Man 2 also. I don't really get the hate.
I think it's good. I didn't think it was as good as the first one, but I still highly
No, but it's hard to top Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
And, okay, the reason I said I wouldn't, like, hype over another Iron Man film, because I knew another Iron Man film would be successful regardless. But what really hooked me on Iron Man 3 is the marketing. And they really sold the fans that this is kind of like the downfall of Tony Stark type of story, and it's like something serious. And all of a sudden, you know, you get the feeling, what the fuck is going on? Like, okay, they mentioned early on that there will be no magic with the Mandarin, so that makes you even more interested on.
I knew that was going to happen.
How is this happening? And so you're immediately hooked, and you buy this, and all of a sudden the film comes out, and it's kind of like a fuck you to the fans almost.
Well, here's the thing: it's like marketing is like Tony Stark is going to fucking fall. The album for the movie is called Iron Man 3 album Heroes Fall. I'm sorry, where is the fall in Iron Man 3? I mean, he actually physically falls, but, like, out of the sky. But there is no... I didn't get a fall of his character.
Right.
Unless that's something they're going to pick up with in the next movie he appears in, I don't know. I did not get any kind of sense of, like, where the fall of Tony Stark is here, except that his house gets blown up. But he's fucking Tony Stark. It's not going to be that hard to rebuild it, so... I agree with you, David. I was disappointed by that as well.
Right. I mean, it was all false marketing, and that's what really...
Oh, definitely.
That's what really disappointed me as a fan, because I felt like not only did Robert Downey Jr. and Shane Black, you know, disappointed fans, but also marveled, because they approved this. And Shane Black, he literally said, when he pitched his idea of the Mandarin twist to the writer Drew Pearce, Drew Pearce said, I'm not sure about this. I don't know how the guys at Marvel are going to take this. And he said, fuck them. He literally said, fuck them. Let's pitch it to them anyway.
Now, before you continue, not a bad mentality to have. That being said, David, continue.
Okay, yeah, that's not a bad mentality to have, but still, you know, when you say fuck them, that kind of shows how little respect you do have for the source material.
Not even that. It shows you, like, hey, what if this does turn out to be a bad idea? Maybe this fuck-em mentality isn't going to work that well.
I do understand that it's very important to respect the source material, but unlike, say, like Batman and his rogues gallery or Spider-Man and his rogues gallery, a good majority of people do not really have the same amount of respect for Iron Man's rogues gallery as they do for, say, again, Batman or Spider-Man or Superman. So, and also in the past, the Mandarin has been reinterpreted different ways. And of course, especially considering how the original Mandarin was this very stereotypical Asian stereotype that was made during the whole anti-communist China phase of American history. Yeah.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. I don't care about the Mandarin in the comics. He's done differently in everyone's run. Why I care is because I think David and I are more disappointed with how the movie presents him. And what the Mandarin that is promised by the film. There's no disappointment with source material here. It's disappointment with Shane Black. Here's what you set up. You don't follow through with it. I think that's where the disappointment comes in. Not so much in the source material.
Mm-hmm. I see.
David, you were going to say something? David? Hello?
¿Estás aquí?
And we lost him.
Well, I guess we
all right, let's move on.
Okay. So, moving on, we go into June, and we have this video game. I have not actually played this video game, but it was a game where, like, all my gamer friends were talking about, which is The Last of Us, which was, I believe, a PlayStation 3 exclusive.
Oh, my God.
Oh, great, we have someone here to talk about it.
That game is so fucking good. Oh, my God. Okay, so basically,
Please tell us what it is, Adam.
You know what? It really. Speaking of marketing, I didn't play it for the longest time because I didn't like the marketing. The marketing presented it as very much a stereotypical zombie game where you're basically trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. And so I was like, okay, whatever. But then all my friends persuaded me to play it, and I played it, and I was like, this is not a zombie apocalypse. But except this game, what made it so interesting, the whole idea that basically this girl, Ellie, that you play this guy named Joel, who's highly respected in the safe zones of this place called the Safe Zones, which is Boston, which is kind of in chaos right now because of a rebel group called the Fireflies, which they're trying to work on a cure to basically revert this outbreak of what's turning these people into these creatures. And what's interesting is that they're not zombies; they're called the infected. They breathe in these. What happens is you breathe in these spores, and it attacks your brain, and it turns you crazy. And these aren't zombies; they're not. And basically, what happens is you're Joel, who at the opening loses his daughter. His daughter dies, which is a very tragic scene. And you suddenly it jumps 9 years later. No, 10 years later. No, was it 20? No, it was 20 years. 20 years later,
oh, shit.
Which is a significant amount of time.
I would say so, yeah.
And Joel has turned into this complete and total cold, badass character. And suddenly he meets this little girl named Ellie, who has been bit, and she hasn't turned. She's the cure. Which, I had no idea about this when I was making Compound of Chaos, by the way.
But you were immediately pissed off.
I was immediately pissed off, because now people are going to think that I was copying Compound of Chaos, but I mean, I was copying The Last of Us.
Are you sure it's smart to say that, considering you're kind of spoiling a movie that hasn't been released yet?
No, it's in the trailers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's the least of the spoilers. That's the least of the spoilers in Compound of Chaos. Yeah.
Anyway,
having seen the film.
Anyways, and so basically over the course of the game, it's basically you trying to get this girl over to the Fireflies over on the other side of the country, because she has, well, again, she's the cure, and the Fireflies are the only people that are really looking for a cure at this point, so they have no alternative but to go to them. And over the course of this, you basically go from this really cold relationship between the two of them to a father-daughter relationship, which is very, very important because Joel lost his daughter in the first act of the game. The opening scene of the game, he loses his daughter, and not to the creatures, but to an army soldier who shoots her on accident.
Oh, shit.
And so that makes it all the more worse. And he always called his daughter on the opening scenes his baby girl. He always said, "What's up, baby girl?" Because clearly, he's a single dad. I don't really know how that worked, but that's what happens. And suddenly there's a scene where Ellie basically goes apeshit, and she's bawling, and she just runs up to Joel. It's my favorite scene in the game. Runs up to Joel and gives him a big hug, and she's crying, and he hugs her back, and he says, "Oh, baby girl, it's all right. I'm here now." And I was like, I started crying. I was like, this is good writing. Yeah. This is good fucking writing. And my favorite part of the game really is the ending. Because this isn't an RPG kind of game. The story is set in stone. You go from point A to point B. The story's set in stone. You don't get to choose what to say. The story's set in stone. Mind if I spoil the ending?
Sure, that's fine. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to play it, yeah.
Okay. Basically what happens is Joel discovers that the only way they're going to be able to make a cure is if they kill Ellie. They have to kill Ellie. They have to extract her brain, which is, of course, you kill Ellie. And he doesn't like that. And so he goes apeshit, And while I was playing this, I was worried that they were going to cop out and give you, this is going to be the time where they give you an option, whether you save Ellie and damn the rest of humanity, or you let them kill Ellie, and basically you lose yourself. But no, the game does the right decision, in my opinion, and just goes with what Joel would have done, which is, to be honest, what I would do too. Joel winds up destroying the Firefly facility and saves Ellie.
Right.
Even though she is the only hope for them finding a cure for the spore bug virus thing that's going around killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a very controversial ending. Either people loved it or they hated it. I personally loved it. It's a very sad, it's a very gripping game just because of how big this universe is. Because you can play this game multiple times and notice something new every time. Like, there's a lot of things when you're scavenging through drawers and stuff like that. You can get entire backstories. Like, there's one of them where you can read through this kid's journal, and in this truck that you find, and it says, my dad just come home, he's all panicked, we've locked the doors and stuff like that. And then the next one, it goes, okay, we're heading out, we're taking the dog with us. And then it jumps to, like, 2 weeks later. The date is, like, 2 weeks later, and since we had to let our dog go because we couldn't feed him anymore. And you just the level of detail that the creators put into this universe was absolutely astonishing and absolutely. And just to add to that, a phenomenal music score by an Academy Award winner. I forgot his name, but the soundtrack, it's not pleasant to listen to on its own, but it's very good for the game, if that makes any sense at all.
Is it open world?
No.
No, it's not? Okay. What about the, it's third-person shooter, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, because I knew it was made by the same people who did Uncharted, so.
Yeah. Yep. And it's absolutely wonderful. And what's awesome about this game is that you can play it two ways. You can play it where you kill everything and everybody, or you can sneak around a lot of the people. You don't need to kill them.
Right.
Which I find really cool. Like, half of it, I found myself, I wasn't killing people, I was just trying to get around them.
Right.
And not be seen, which I loved, fucking loved. And you see, this is why I loved it way more than fucking BioShock Infinite. I fell in love with this game. It was the first act of the game, there's 5 acts. The first act of the game was kind of difficult for me to get into, but once it gets to just Joel and Ellie, it's fucking phenomenal. It is seriously one of the best games I've ever played, and I do not regret playing this game 5 times. I noticed something new every single time that I played it. Just the level of detail that was put into this entire universe is like on par with Pacific Rim in terms of their universe. Those are big words that are true.
Big true words.
Yeah, clearly I think it's the best game of 2013, hands down.
Wow. Well, judging by your description, it's no wonder that this game had been praised immensely when it first came out, and why it still can. A whole lot of people are putting in their top 10s, top 5s of games of 2012.
Yeah.
It was like this game where like
a lot of people were outraged that it wasn't put in like the top 10 best zombie games of the decade or whatever it was, or of like past 5 years. I want to say it was IGN.
Who cares? They're big corporate fucking.
I bet you they were paid by Capcom to put Resident Evil 6 up on there.
Oh yeah, they did. But I was like, to their defense, The Last of Us is not a zombie game.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
It's not, and they never call them zombies throughout the entire thing.
Do they treat them like mindless creatures, or is there always like some sort of regret whenever the character has to kill them?
That is a very big scene. There is a very fucking big scene where you find these 2 black people. You find this older brother and his younger brother, who's about the same, who's a little bit younger than Ellie, and Ellie is 12 years old. Right. And there's this big scene where he breathes in spores and gets bit and turns into one of the creatures, or one of the infected. That's what they call them, the infected, and which I think was very clever. Right. And the brother shoots the kid and then shoots himself. It's a big fucking deal when you kill somebody in this game. Even if it's not important, even if they're the clear bad guy in the game, it's a big deal when you kill somebody. Because you hear them squirming, you hear bones breaking, you can see the blood dripping through the fingers, your fingers when you're like slicing somebody open. It's a big fucking deal when you kill somebody. It does not make you feel comfortable. Which I think is absolutely wonderful. I think that's when you got a good game going there, is when it makes you feel that uncomfortable killing somebody. Because,
they do that in Fallout 3 as well.
Yeah, because this isn't like the Call of Duty games where you shoot them from far away.
No.
This is like you have to get up really close to them because you have to sneak around a lot. Like if you get hurt, you're fucked.
Right.
And you go up to them and you get strangled, or you have to like strangle them, and it's not pleasant to watch. That's why I like to sneak around them. It really made me feel uncomfortable, which that was when I said this is going to be a really good game. And they also, just to speak on the level of detail, the first true level you play in, where it gets into the story, there's a scene where there's this, like, basically a military officer points at you, says, if you don't step away, I will shoot you. And at first I thought it was just dialogue, just for the sake of dialogue, but I didn't move, and he gave me another warning. I was like, yeah, he's not going to do anything. Then I got shot and died.
Oh, shit.
And I had to start the level over again. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Everything that you hear in this game has a purpose.
Right.
And that just goes into how extensive this universe is. It was so well done, so well made. Fucking play it, you guys. Just fucking play it.
It's on my list. I mean, I'll get to it at some point for sure.
I'll try to find
I love that developer.
If you're not going to play it, seriously, just watch the walkthrough.
Yeah.
Because you will get invested into that story.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship between Ellie and Joel is one of my favorite relationships I've ever seen in ever. Freaking ever. I love it. I love father-daughter relationships or father-son relationships. That's why some people have compared this to The Road.
Oh, I was about to say that, yeah.
It's very similar to The Road. It's basically The Road if done on a video game, which is good. It's very good.
A good idea, actually.
It's a very good idea, and it was done unbelievably well. Unbelievably
All right.
Well. Yeah.
So I guess we're ready to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as we enter July, there are like 3 movies I want to mention in July. One of which has to be possibly, I would say it's one of the most stupidest movies to ever come out of the Asylum Productions, but I'm pretty sure that's debatable considering how all their movies are pretty stupid. And the movie I'm talking about is Sharknado.
Sharknado!
The Citizen Kane of bad movies.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I saw the sequels, though, including Sharkalanche, Snow is Frozen Water, The Science is Sound, the birthplace of our saying here at the SOS.
Grow up so fast.
Yeah, they do. They do grow up so fast. I didn't see it. I did retweet a, who did we lose? We lost Andres?
What?
Shit!
We're dropping like flies.
Oh shit, we lost Andres. That means we've got nothing to talk about.
Okay, that's
No! I didn't see Sharknado.
This is just fucking depressing anyways, so.
Yeah.
Shark.
Yeah. I didn't see Sharknado.
It's so good.
How long is it? Is it like
an hour and a half?
It is an hour and a half? Oh,
every Asylum film is like 90 minutes long.
It's like 90 minutes.
They never passed that mark.
Did you guys see the trailer for Mecha Shark versus Mega Shark?
Of course.
I seen the post.
I so want to see that movie.
It looks amazing.
It looks so You see, it looks like they're doing what they should have been doing all along anyway. Take these goddamn insane concepts and fucking do an insane movie with it. Don't make a fucking attempt at a serious horror movie. You just gotta do fucking insane shit. And that's what it looks like.
What Asylum needs to do.
Yeah. It's like we're gonna build a giant fucking robot and have to kill a shark. That's the movie. So
I hope they don't choose to remake Versus.
Wait, what?
I said I hope they don't choose to remake Versus, or Ryuhei Kitamura loses his mind and just sells the rights to the Asylum.
Wait, what's going on with that? What do you mean?
Okay. Well, okay, it's not happening. I'm just saying that I hope something like that doesn't happen.
Dave, don't give me a heart attack.
I was like, wait, is that a thing that might happen?
No, I hope not. I mean,
I was like, that was such a random thing to say. I was like, what? Asylum is going to remake Versus?
I hope not, because, okay, what you said basically describes what Versus is to me, just like taking a concept, an insane concept, a really dumb concept, but having fun with it.
Right, yeah, I mean, you got to have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, just fucking do it straight, because...
The problem is, that Ryuhei Kitamura has been making false promises for the longest time that he's going to make a sequel or that he's going to make an American remake to Versus, and it's been nearly, I think, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. No, I remember we talked about this on ZGC. Yeah. I don't know. It's not a good idea. Just watch the fucking original. Yeah. I hope that doesn't happen. But Dave, you gotta admit, that was such a random poll. Like, I'm just like, oh, Asylum does insane things. And you're just like, I hope that they don't end up making a Versus remake. I was like, wait a minute, that might be a thing. And you're like, no, I just hope that. I was like, that would have been like if I would have said, I really hope fucking Michael Bay doesn't do, I don't know.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I really hope Michael Bay doesn't end up making a Doctor Who movie.
Well, you never know.
You never. Oh God, I would probably kill myself.
Is calling.
Oh, he's calling? Oh.
Oh, I guess not. Never mind.
Speaking of Ninja Turtles, my faith may have been restored in the upcoming Ninja Turtles reboot.
No.
Why? What happened?
Okay, I don't know if you heard, but this was like a long time ago. They dropped the whole alien concept thing. And
yes, I heard about that, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good.
No, here's the thing where my faith's been restored a little bit. First things first, they dropped the alien concept, and the funny thing is that Michael Bay has been denying that he ever said that they're going to be aliens, even though that there's a video out there with him literally saying these turtles are from an alien race, and he's been denying, saying I was misquoted. People misunderstood what I said. But here's the thing where I think they're going in a direction that I find interesting, and I think they leaked this on accident. Shredder is actually, I think he's going to be a scientist who's responsible for the creation of the turtles.
That's
Hey.
I mean, it's better than Shredder being an alien from Dimension X with retractable Wolverine claws.
Well, I just want to say this, like, I don't know how people, this reminded me of it, I don't know how people are going to handle I'm really worried about how people are going to approach going to view my Origins for Gamera and my Godzilla series. I think I showed Andres it. I'm not sure if he's with us now or not. But
oh yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
He's here.
Yeah, like I know I showed you the Origins. And
yeah, I mentioned how it was kind of similar to Gamera the Brave, and then you decided to scrap it, and then you kind of go for a bit of a Godzilla Junior look, Junior-ish.
Well, tell me the concept. I don't think I heard about it.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. I remember your original, but I guess you've changed it.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, well go ahead and rock us with it.
Basically, the rock us with the shit.
Rock us with the shit. That's going on a T-shirt.
Rock us with the shit. We're done with Sharknado, Andres.
I think so. I think Sharknado. All right. Said has been said.
Yeah.
All right. So just let me know when we can. Yeah.
Rock us with the shit.
Okay. Well, basically, what turns this universe up on its head is that there's this huge, devastating earthquake that strikes Japan that sets everything up in the air. Mm-hmm. While somebody was helping this biologist, scientist person named Kyoko Manabe, if you get the reference, I applaud you.
I don't, honestly.
Destroy all monsters.
Oh, I'd have to go back. Damn, that's even for me. Jesus.
But she notices this scene got inspired by Godzilla, Mothra vs. Godzilla. She notices this shell in the water, or floating in the rubble, and she goes over and finds it, and she notices it's a turtle. And I created some scientific name for it, and I totally forgot what it is off the top of my head. I have to look at the outline. But basically, they get the main professor of the movie, or of the movies. I might as well just read it to you. I might as well just read it to you. Godzilla the Immortal, outline, word, open.
It's a working title.
What?
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 No, I heard David say something, and I was like, what?
He's like, I fucking hate that title. No.
Okay, all right. So this is really our first appearance of Gamera. Meanwhile, out to sea, the Yotsumitsu is sailing out to sea to capture fish. They get a good catch when they get a sonar hit of something. They are confused because Godzilla is nowhere near their position. They send out a signal and begin to see what looks like a shell from the water. Then it disappears back under the waves. The picture is sent to General Nakao by Shindo, who's the dictator of Japan, and he calls in Murai, Professor Murai, and Kyoko Manabe.
Nice.
He wants to know... He wants to know what is in the pictures, and he instantly recognizes it. He hands it over to Manabe, and she calls out Gamera. That is not exactly what General Nakao wants to hear, and warns them to keep it a secret for now. He then asks to why they didn't terminate the creature. Basically, this is entirely a flashback. Manabe is reading levels of radiation in the wreckage of Japan after the earthquake. When piling through the rubble and taking radiation readings, she uncovers what looks like a shell. She soon sees that it is a turtle, irradiated by the destruction of the nuclear reactors. It is much larger than normal, but she goes over it and helps it. She soon recognizes it as a form of prehistoric turtle named Giganticus... God damn it. Giganticus testudinus. There we go. Later, she calls for Professor Murai, and he comes to take a look at the turtle, and it has... And it has taken a huge liking to Kyoko Manabe. She feeds it and names it Gamera after an ancient turtle god believed to live in Okinawa as its guardian. They agreed to take it to Okinawa for a safe studying environment, unlike the power vacuum being created in Japan. Murai then decides that the earthquake must have opened an underwater trench and freed Gamera from its slumber. In a lab, they study Gamera and see that he is really friendly. Many of the workers actually fall in love with it, but none are as close as Manabe. They are then informed of a new government in Japan, with Shindo taking an interest in Gamera and is curious to see the elements of radiation and how it survived. They speak to General Nakao. They find out that General Nakao will be arriving. General Nakao and Shindo come along and are astonished by what they are seeing, and how a creature survived that much radiation besides Godzilla. Shindo agrees to go along with the funding to continue the research on Gamera, and makes both Murai and Manabe extremely happy. Several years later, Gamera has grown significantly in size, but they receive word from Shindo that Godzilla has returned. This shocks everyone at the facility. He tells them that Murai is needed with General Igarashi in Geneva for his experiments on mind control, which is Godzilla vs. Titanosaurus, the previous movie. Manabe is furious with this because Murai has kept it a secret, and it is and the mind control device is unethical. But he agrees to go and places Manabe in charge until Murai returns. She then goes and sees Gamera, and it comforts her. I have a bad feeling about this, she winds up saying. A year later, Gamera is extremely tall and walking on 2 legs. As Mirai returns, he has dire news that Shindo has ordered experiments to be made on Gamera with radiation and G-cells. Manabe protests, but to no avail. Shindo sees Gamera as an organic defense against an oncoming storm of Godzilla, and that conventional weapons would not work. Gamera is their most viable option. Gamera is sent through many tests and slowly begins to mutate. Tusks grow from the bottom of his jaw, and once in a while smoke comes from his mouth. The changes frighten Manabe, and she sees it with Mirai too, but she swallows the pain and continues to work with Gamera. This is when Manabe can barely recognize Gamera as the creature it once was. She begins to compare him to the Frankenstein monster. One day, a large earthquake strikes Okinawa. Mirai orders an evacuation, but the building begins to crumble. As the beam is about to fall on Manabe, she is shocked to see that it does not land. She looks up and sees Gamera has saved her and several others from the destruction. Professor Mirai is called to speak with Shindo via video conference. He agrees and is frightened as to what is going on. In the call, Shindo orders him to destroy all research on grounds that if G-Force discovers Gamera, they might pull out support on Mechagodzilla. Mirai protests at first, but does not want to give up his career, so Shindo uses this to his advantage. Shindo is a manipulative bastard. Outside Kyoko Manabe protests with anger, but having to give up her most important work. Mirai understands, but assures her that it will all work out in the end. She agrees to let the project go and to kill Gamera. But of course that doesn't really work, because then it goes back to real time. They never really killed Gamera, they just let him go and lied to Shindo. There, the end. That's my Gamera origins.
Cool. I'm into it. I mean, the last part of it, I definitely remember you being part of the original pitch, but the first part is definitely something new. I dig it. Andres, do me a favor. Yeah. We're 2.5 hours in. And we've done a lot of talking about movies. Can you kind of weed out?
Okay, weed out.
Yeah. Yeah, like the really big things. Like, you know, we talked for a while about Iron Man 3 and Sharknado. Okay. So let's kind of get to the big major things, because I want to kind of end.
Yeah,
soon.
Okay. I'll just try to get rid of most. I had a couple of them that were very pop, like pop culture stuff, like celebrities and whatnot doing crazy stuff, or a popular song, whatever, or a video game. I'll just focus on the big movie stuff. If that that's what you're looking for. So I guess in the month of July, there were 2 big movies that came out. One of which was a very was a very noticeable film that was heavily divided among fans of film and comic books. Was of course Man of Steel. Where it's very split, very 50-50. People think it's a complete piece of garbage. Others think it's an incredibly awesome movie. And of course, even we ourselves are very split on when it comes to our opinions on this film.
I would say I'm kind of in the middle. Uh-huh. I mean, I don't think it's a piece of garbage, but I don't know if I'd say it's amazing.
I love it. I thought it was amazing.
Same here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't love it, but I think it's real. I think it's a great movie.
I think it works. I think the biggest problem with Man of Steel, I just rewatched it about a week ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I said to myself, this movie would work a lot better. I think this movie would have worked better if they would have taken a little bit away from the mythology, because there's a lot of mythology going on, and I think the movie would be much more suited to get us a little more into Clark Kent's head, because I think where the major pitfall of the film is, the characters come off as a little bit we don't know what's going on inside their head, because there's so much stuff going on with the mythos.
Well,
I think that's one of my biggest problems.
Here's what I have to say, and it's going to be really simple about Man of Steel. If you want to know my opinion on it, pretty much watch the Nostalgia Critics review for it.
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I don't know. I dug it. I still really enjoy it. I'm more excited about the sequel. Because my big thing with Man of Steel was, I guarantee most of my problems with it are going to be resolved in the sequel.
Well, yeah.
But,
I'm still very reserved when it comes to the sequel, because I just think that it's too soon to have a Superman-Batman movie, because I feel like you need to establish a status quo with Superman. I don't feel like the first movie established a status quo.
Yeah, but fuck the status quo. We've seen the status quo for 75 years. Fuck that shit. So let's get some. Let's take it in a new direction. And I think that what they're doing a lot more of is we all know who Superman is.
True.
Like we all know who Superman is.
Yeah, but this turns out to be a very turns out to be a very different Superman from the one that we usually know.
Exactly, but that's what makes it interesting. Is we all know Superman, so let's do something a little different with it. I mean, I like all the differences that Man of Steel made. And I don't need to see another movie with Superman, being Superman. We had that before. So I'm glad that they're cutting out the fucking bullshit and being like, let's give people the thing they want to see. Like, what would you have done in between then in the Batman
Brainiac?
Thing? Like, okay, here's Brainiac. All right, what's the interesting wrinkle that we haven't seen before? I don't know. I don't know. I'm extremely complimentary of DC for taking it in that direction so quickly. Yeah. I think it's a really big move that they deserve to be given credit for.
But then, as much excited as I am pretty still happy that we finally we're finally going to get a Superman Batman movie. But the fact that we're like, I'm pretty sure I had this feeling that Warner Brothers is just like they're unsure of what they want with this sequel, because I wouldn't be surprised if, like, of course, it's been recently confirmed that we're going to have Wonder Woman in this movie as well.
Wonder Woman!
And then there's rumors that the Flash is going to be in this movie as well. So I'm thinking, like, just call it Justice League already.
Wait. Are you sure?
There's rumors that the Flash is going to be in this movie.
Because they just put Flash in fucking Arrow.
Yeah.
Different content.
You know what I wouldn't be surprised about at this point?
If it was connected?
If they're just yeah, I have a weird... Well, think of it this way. Like, the Arrow universe is so goddamn realistic. And every single aspect that is slightly fantastic is really watered down to be realistic. And it would not shock me if they said that, like, if one of the seasons of Arrow ended with the events of Man of Steel happening. I don't know. That probably won't happen because DC isn't smart enough to do that. But I think that would be interesting. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see in 2015.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So then, anyone else got anything to say? David. Yeah, David, you excited? What are you excited or not excited about Man of Steel 2 or Superman versus Batman or Man of Steel 2 because he's Batman?
Yeah, I'm excited for the quote-unquote Man of Steel sequel. Although I don't know why people are calling it a sequel because it's just like a...
Because it's the second movie.
Well, yeah, it's a continuation, but it wouldn't be like kind of like a part like Man of Steel 2.
Have you heard the potential titles?
Yeah,
I mean, Man of Steel is the title. It's going to have Batman incorporated.
Like Man of Steel, Darkness Rises or whatever. Man of Steel, Shadow of the Bats. Man of Steel.
No, my favorite one was Man of Steel Hunt the Night.
Yeah.
Because that's the title of one of the Dark Knight Returns chapters. So I'm like, ooh, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, isn't the working title right now Batman versus Superman?
That's what David Goyer said, but don't trust anything that David Goyer says because the man is a nut bar. So, I don't know. That's not going to be the title, but it's clearly going to be that kind of generic concept.
Well, what would be really interesting, since this is set in a much more, I wouldn't say realistic, but more gritty universe, is how they're going to introduce Wonder Woman, because...
Yeah.
And also, I'm
have an invisible plane.
She has flown before in the comics, right? I think she flew in the Justice League cartoon.
She flies in every single... I don't know why the fuck she needs the plane, because she has flown in every single version of Wonder Woman I've ever seen.
Maybe she gets tired after flying for a while, and she can't fly as fast as the jet.
Oh, fuck her. No, I mean, my favorite fucking version of the invisible plane is in... Okay.
We want to know what's a good movie.
Secondhand
Lions.
Oh, I saw that in the theater when I was a kid.
That was a really good movie.
Wait, what movie?
Secondhand Lions. like a coming-of-age story with a boy and, like, hanging out with two uncles or old...
Yep,
I know, like, two older guys.
Two really old uncles, yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they don't fly invisible planes.
No. They adopt an old lion.
And they become
Oh, wait a minute, I have heard of this.
They become a member of the French Foreign Legion.
Oh, I remember seeing trailers for this.
So I guess...
I never saw
I guess moving on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so now I want to talk about a little movie. You probably may have heard of it. It was a little film called Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
What's Pacific Rim?
What's a Pacific Rim?
Yeah, very little movie for a $250 million budget.
Not 250, I thought it was 190.
No, it was 190.
I saw the porno spoof.
Are you serious?
The title was the same. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I think you saw Atlantic Rim by the Asylum.
I saw the fight scene in that movie. I was like, this isn't even a ripoff of Pacific Rim. This is like, I don't know what this is. It's like Voltron.
I saw Atlantic Rim before I saw Pacific Rim.
I really want. I haven't seen Atlantic Rim. I really want to see it.
That is such a good progression to see it in. Like, you see the really shitty version. You're fucking down in the dumps about how bad it was, and then you go to see Pacific Rim, and you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Pacific Rim was truly a godsend. It was like a gift from heaven. Like, oh.
Best movie experience I have had in over 5 years.
Definitely my favorite movie of this year.
Yeah, the best movie of 2013 for me goes to Desolation and Smog, but in terms of most enjoyable experience, by God, it was Pacific Rim.
Yes.
What was mine? I didn't see enough movies in 2013. I mean, I would say Pacific Rim based on what I saw. I
would say that Gravity was the best movie technically, but personally, Pacific Rim just hits me in the right in the heart.
On personal wise, it's definitely Pacific Rim. In terms of cinematic wise, it still goes to Desolation and Smog. But
okay, I don't mean to change the subject, but maybe Adam and Andres can answer this question for me because I just I seen Gravity and this question just kept on lingering in my mind, and I feel like I'm the minority in this. What's the deal with Gravity? I've seen it, and I don't see the hype behind it. I understand that it's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, but I just don't understand what's so good about it.
Well, it's that it's a well acted, well paced, well structured story about a woman who has nothing to live for, and by the end of the movie, she found something worth living for. And through the darkest, through the most scariest of situations.
Yeah, it has a lot of religious undertext to it. It has a lot of symbolism in it when you really watch it. Like when she crawls up and kind of looks like a fetus.
You mean? No, never mind. Yeah.
I know which scene he's talking about. Okay, I wanted to ask that because I feel like I'm gonna admit this. Okay, I didn't hate it. I didn't like it.
I know why people don't like it.
Well, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying that I'm kind of like in between. Okay, it was pretty.
It didn't hit you in the place you thought it would.
And here's why: it's because I saw this movie very late, like probably like a month after its release, and I kept on hearing all these things that this is the greatest film of the year, that this film swept the Toronto Film Festival. People were just like overhyping it, and of course I got hyped up about it too. I wanted to see what was good about it, and the fact that it was directed by now I forgot the director's name, Alfonso Cuarón.
I have no idea who that is.
I saw him on Criterion. Because they've been doing this thing recently where they have these big names, directors and actors come in to their vaults and like take DVDs from Blu-rays rather. And Guillermo del Toro did it, Alec Baldwin did it, and he did it. And fucking Guillermo del Toro, to go back to Pacific Rim, the dude tears through this goddamn Blu-ray vault like a goddamn tornado. He's pulling shit down left and right. He leaves with this stack that goes up to his fucking head. Whereas everyone else who goes in there takes like...
such a cool person.
Yeah, he is. But literally everyone else who goes in there takes like 2 or 3 Blu-rays. Always like apologize for, I'm stealing. I don't want to be greedy. But fucking Del Toro's like, fuck that shit. I'm taking everything.
Del Toro is such a fanboy.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Like, every single time I see him directing or I see him talking about a movie he really likes, I see a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, this kid, whenever he talks about, like, kaiju or something like that, you can tell he's like a kid in the candy store.
He's like us grown up.
He is in love with what he does. He's like Peter
totally.
Jackson. Whenever I see Peter Jackson talking about movies, seriously, he is the Latino Peter Jackson. There is no other way to describe him.
We share a first name, so cool with that.
Guillermo? What? Oh yeah,
Guillermo is William in Spanish, so we share. I've been saying that all night. We share our first names. That means something.
You share your name with everyone, Bill.
What?
You like this?
You know that Adam is actually English for William. Old English. Did you know that David is actually
ancient Spanish for William? Ancient Salvadorian for Spanish.
For Spanish.
Ancient. Me and no talkie to English tonight. It's late over here. It's almost 3:00 in the morning over here. We're gonna wrap up soon.
So moving on, we go to the month of August.
Hang on, I have a joke.
You want to move on? Yeah, we can. Okay, go ahead.
I have a joke I want to make. This is my goddamn show, and I want to make this joke. When I saw the trailer for Gravity, I said, that looks really impressive, but I have no need to see the movie because I know what's going to happen. So I'm sitting with Nicola, and me and Nicola are two of the most sarcastic, cynical people on the planet. So we're watching the movie trailers. Gravity comes on. I'm like, ooh, that looks interesting. And it ends. They're setting up the space thing, and the fucking satellite blows up or whatever happens, and she's floating. And I literally turn to Nicola, and I'm like, and then what? I'm just like, what happens then? Because, I mean, what? I just couldn't get over, like, how do you go from there? Like, she's either going to die or she's going to get rescued by aliens. I don't know. Like, what's going to happen?
It turns out that in the alternate version, the original version, before, the corporate whores got a hold of it, that's exactly what happens. And basically we get a version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but serious.
She's saved by aliens?
What?
They didn't make that version?
I don't want that version.
Yeah, I do.
I want
that version. It's a serious...
Andres, are you high?
It's a serious version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
No, you just see the TARDIS just fucking floating by.
That shit. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
The Doctor is
like, fuck that shit. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
No, not fuck that shit.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for the fucking win.
Doctor Who.
So right now
what was that? I'm sorry. What was that? What was that, Bill? Sorry. What?
Did you know the guy who created Hitchhikers wrote a lot of Doctor Who?
Yeah, actually, I actually heard that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Tom Baker.
Now we're ready to move on.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Doctor Who. Tom Baker.
Yes, move on, please move on.
Okay, so for the month of August.
I'm just gonna start saying random Doctor Who names and hope that I just win this argument that me and Adam are having.
For the month of August, so yeah, of course, that's when this podcast that I like listening to called the Sons of Serizawa started. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. I mean, it's been going on for 4 or 5 months now.
Did we start in August?
Yeah, we started in August.
Yeah,
August 6th was when our first episode first came up. Or your guys.
Jesus Christ, he wasn't even there and he knows the date and I don't. That's sad.
Well, time flies when you're drunk as hell.
True. So yeah, boys, we've been doing this podcast for a while now. It came out of World War G3 happening. And I remember we were all we hadn't spoken for a while, the four of us, and we were like, we should talk more often.
You know what I realized? It's been a whole year since we put ZGC on hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that show's gone. I must
that
make
show
yeah.
Wish I could have been there.
Oh.
No, this show is kind of like ZGC extended.
Yeah, it's like the spiritual successor to ZGC.
No, it's not, because EGC we talked about a movie, and then Raiding the Vault, Lost, Found, but Never Filmed.
Because every once in a while, I will always go back to ZGC and watch it.
Yeah, I'll do the same, just like nostalgically, just like, oh, the good old days.
Like, you know what's really funny? When you listen to Bill and I's first chat, the Godzilla one, where we just basically talked about Godzilla, but how completely different I look at Godzilla now.
Yeah, it's fucked
hilarious.
Up, isn't it?
Like, I'm like, I
really
used to
weird.
think that.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you fucking dumbass. You look. Yeah, it's weird. No, I mean, the funny one for me is going back and watching videos where we didn't know anything about the Legendary Pictures Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
And what we know now, like David, that first chat you and I did, it's like, holy shit.
I feel like going back to that first chat that you and David did, and just put on the comments, the seeds of the Serizawa, Sons of Serizawa have been planted.
It is a really important series of chats because that's where all this came from.
Yeah. You see, I saw that and I said, "Fuck it! If he can talk to Gorazard, then I can talk to Bill." And
yeah.
Okay, maybe I didn't want to do it like
back
that,
in the day where anyone.
Yeah,
can
I mean, Adam, I'm gonna be honest. When I got that first message, I was like, "That's not what you said." You were a lot more than that. Little did I know, 2 years later.
Yeah.
Fuck you. No. 2 years later, how far we
My favorite fights were when Bill and Adam disagreed on the Godzilla suits, mainly the 62 one.
The 62 one, yeah, the 62 and the 67 suits are the hotly debated.
Yeah, those are the two big ones. It was Son of Godzilla and King Kong versus Godzilla. I remember Adam and I, this is so fucking long ago, we had this 3-hour discussion about every single Godzilla suit.
Yeah.
And literally, I think it was the next day, Adam posted a video where he's like, these are my thoughts on the Godzilla suit.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, fuck.
And I was like, oh my god. Wow.
I was like,
there it is. And literally in the description he writes, this is where this came from. And I was like, oh wow.
And then I remember one of the first things you and I did was because you were the first person I could ever really go to, Bill, in terms of talking about Godzilla around here. You really were.
Yeah.
And now, because we have Toho Nation and shit like that, I see that there's a lot more people out there than just you guys.
So you mean nothing to me, Bill?
Nothing.
But, I'm just like, damn it, that's fucking cold, Adam.
Anyways, I remember we watched Night of the Lepus.
Oh my god, do you remember that?
I remember that. We watched Night of the Lepus. We watched The Abominable Snowman.
We watched,
And it had Russian subtitles because that was the only good quality.
The Russian subtitled Abominable Snowman. Do you remember that fucking, we watched Gappa together?
Which one? Oh yeah, Gappa. Yeah, we did.
Do you remember we also watched this, I actually saw this in full. We watched the first, 15 minutes of this 70s Bigfoot documentary.
Yep, I remember. I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't Legend of Boggy Creek, but...
No, it was I think it was called The Legend of Bigfoot. I saw it recently in full. It is clearly bullshit. Yeah. But I love it to death because I remembered we got through 15 minutes of it and it was so boring we just gave up on it.
We did. And then I remember we did the completely failed mess, the Planet of the Apes chat.
Yeah.
I remember I was supposed to be a part of that chat, but I have to... Okay, it's been a while, so I can finally tell you the truth. I didn't join on purpose because I only seen the first Planet of the Apes film.
And we found that out real quick, Dave. We were not in the dark on that one.
Because, you said that you've seen them all, you're a big Planet of the Apes fan, but then all of a sudden we discovered pretty goddamn quickly that...
So we were like, this guy's only seen the first movie. We can't do this chat with him. We're going to be like, hey, Dave, who's Caesar? And you're like, who? Thank God Rise had come out. By the way, that fucking trailer.
Man. Looks glorious.
Oh, it looks great. I'm so excited. We can talk about that on the next on the non-Christmas.
God damn it, guys! Now I want to torrent the entire planet.
No, you need to buy them.
You need to buy. I have a box. See, Adam made fun of me when I got my box set because I got the outdated box set. And he made fun of me for fucking weeks about it, and I was hurt by that, Adam. You really hurt my feelings.
But then all of a sudden you see the 40th anniversary one.
Yeah, I was like, damn it. True. And the documentary on Mine is really like... I mean, the good thing is that Chuck Heston was still... Adam, was Chuck Heston still alive when the 40th came out?
No,
he was. Okay, so he was interviewed.
That documentary that you get on yours is a supplement on the first DVD.
Yeah. It's pretty... I'm aware, Adam. You don't have to fucking shake your fucking shit at me. I know.
Planet of the...
So, ready to move on?
Andres, we're 3 hours in. Let's get the Spark Notes version.
Okay. September, that's when...
I need to go to bed!
Okay, well, it's not my fault!
It is completely your fault.
You guys are spending time talking about your proposed Gamma origin and how you got your
dare we
Gamma
fucking reminisce
Planet of the Apes chat and all this sidetracking Ninja Turtle stuff.
Andres, I don't want no movies. I want the meat. I want the meat of the fucking year. The fucking shit that nobody wants to talk about. We're going to talk about it here on the Sons of Serizawa Podcast.
September is when Breaking Bad came to an end.
No. We shouldn't talk about Breaking Bad.
We shouldn't talk about Breaking Bad.
I know. I just wanted to bring it up, okay, because it's a big show.
I'm at season 3. Don't ruin Breaking Bad for me, Andres. I will hunt you down like an
October,
animal.
That's when Batman Arkham Origins comes out. Let's see.
Yeah.
November, that's when the Demons from Outer Space, the very first Sons of Serizawa spin-off, came out.
And we lost David. Not November. We lost him then too. But we lost him.
That's when November. That's when the Google Plus and YouTube merger came out and is forcing everyone to...
So let's talk about November. November is the month we all seem to care about. Yeah. Okay, first things first. Demons from Outer Space. I didn't tell any of you about Demons from Outer Space.
Right. You just came out and said, like, here's a podcast.
And the reason why, that was such a fucking spur-of-the-moment thing. Because Dylan and I were talking, and I was literally like, we could literally just do us two, and it would work differently than SOS, but it would work. Like, we could get more than an hour out of this. And we recorded the pilot on October 31st, on Halloween. And the show didn't air until what? I guess it was about a week later, so it would have been the 6th of November? I guess? I don't know. Andres, do you have the date over there?
No, I haven't. I didn't bring it up. Bring that one up.
Okay. Well, that's when that started. And from that point on, since we had recorded it a week ahead for the first episode, we hadn't posted it until a week afterwards. What happened was we were kind of a week ahead of ourselves every time. The problem with that is that what you talk about is out of date. And we talked about mainly, the Day of the Doctor stuff for Doctor Who, and it was out of date. So the week the fucking big trailer came out, the one that everybody cared about, we were talking about the fucking teaser trailer that nobody cared about. And it was like, we can't do this anymore. So we finally found an excuse for a reason to not do Demons from Outer Space one week, and we fixed that problem. But I don't know. I've been loving doing that show as well. So a lot of stuff is happening here at SOS.
Yep.
Okay, so what I miss?
We
just talked about Demons from Outer Space.
And you didn't talk about Breaking Bad, right?
No, we didn't talk about Breaking Bad. We just briefly mentioned Breaking Bad and Batman Arkham Origins and the Google Plus YouTube merger.
Oh, Dave, you played Arkham Origins. What do you think of it?
Oh my god!
Just real quick.
Arkham Origins. This is kind of embarrassing. I'm like 10% into the game.
Wait, you haven't beaten it?
No, and it's been since October, and I regret buying it the day it came out because now it's like $40, and I'm like, fuck!
And the funny thing is,
it did not sell well.
The funny thing is, you kept telling me to get the game, David, and I ended up getting the game, and we still haven't played multiplayer. I'm so sorry. Like the mostly, and that's mostly.
You guys have PS3?
Yeah, PS Sony all the way, man.
Oh, so do I.
Well, since school's done for me and I'm basically on vacation, all I got to do is work. I'm getting back into the things that I missed ever since August, which is why I said don't talk about Breaking Bad yet, because I had to postpone a lot of things. And coincidentally, today I actually finished downloading part 2 of the season 5, the final season, and I finished watching the first part yesterday.
Ooh,
and
nice.
you know, I'm getting hooked into like the build up to the finale, because I heard that the ending is technically flawless, and I've been on a media blackout from Breaking Bad, and I've been doing a good job of it so far.
Same here, because I'm only on season 3.
Have you heard there's an alternate ending that was recently released?
Yeah, I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I heard it's like a comedic ending.
Yeah, it's a parody. It's I saw it because it doesn't spoil the ending at all. Basically, they fucking went back and reshot the ending of Malcolm in the Middle, where Bryan Cranston wakes up and he's like, "I was a meth dealer." And being a guy, I grew up on Malcolm in the Middle, and there's this part where the wife goes,
Going back.
"This is what happens when I let you grow a beard."
Oh my God.
And the other funny reference was, I was a hardcore meth dealer, but I still walked around in my underwear. I was like, I died. It's fun. It's fantastic. I adore Bryan Cranston. As my Skype status says, I am a disciple of Raptor Jesus as portrayed by Bryan Cranston.
I don't know what show did this, but that ending, that was similar to another series finale where there was this one actor who was in this sitcom he was in another sitcom where he was the owner of a hotel, I believe. And at the end of the series, he wakes up as that character from his previous show with the actress playing his character's wife sitting next, sleeping in the same bed with him.
Yeah, they did such a great job. And the best part is they go back to Hal goes back to sleep, and they do a pan, and they zoom in on the chair, and the Potbelly hat's there. Such a great ending. Such a great ending. Breaking Bad, fucking watch it.
Let me just say this about Bryan Cranston. I consider him what I call personally a method actor, and the actors that I consider method actors are amongst like Marlon Brando, Paul Giamatti. Actors that just immerse themselves in the roles. And I grew up on Malcolm in the Middle, and for the longest time, I couldn't picture Bryan Cranston as anything like a meth dealer, anything but a dim-witted father. But
Breaking Bad
just
proved
me wrong.
God, that man can act.
Yeah, it just showed to me that this guy can play. Not only can he play an idiot, but he can play a great, memorable, iconic character, and it's just proof that you shouldn't really judge all actors by their previous established roles, like I did with Bryan Cranston and Malcolm in the Middle, because he just swept me away with his role with Walter White, and and I just consider him a method actor now.
Yeah.
You're goddamn right.
He's the epitome of a. You're goddamn right. I adore Bryan Cranston. As Adam demonstrated in World War G4, I weep over Bryan Cranston.
And speaking of World War G4, December's when we finally got our Godzilla trailer.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
A moment of silence to commemorate. Oh,
are you guys still there?
I thought we were taking. I thought we were taking a moment of silence to look back on the last 4 years.
Oh, okay, let's do it. A moment of silence.
We already did that.
We're doing it again because I wasn't aware of it. I was just like, is anybody here? Moment of silence. Okay, that's good. I have nothing to say. It's life-changing.
Let me just say that it's a surreal moment. I remember that I was still in high school when they announced the leak group, Legendary Pig.
Yeah,
I wasn't
back in 2009.
Yeah,
August 2009. August 2009. Yeah.
I had just gotten into high school when they announced it. How fucked up is that? It's intense, man. It's intense. Yeah.
Wait. It comes out in May. Yeah, May. So you would be.
You don't know the exact release date of Godzilla 2014?
May 16, 2014.
Good boy. I was about to kick your ass. Yeah.
So yeah, but
guys, you know what's fucked up?
What is?
That is 4 years to the day that I posted my first video about the movie before I knew about the release date.
Whoa.
That's fucked up. That is really scary. I mentioned it in my last solo video. I was like, that's fucking weird. Oh god, if that movie's bad, I'm gonna fucking kill someone. Because that would be 5 years of my life wasted.
I just want to say that I predicted that Ken Watanabe was going to be in Godzilla. I just want to call it.
Really? What?
Yeah.
I think I said this in one of our chats before, Bill. I think.
If you did, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember which chat either. But I know I named Ken Watanabe because Inception came out at that time, and I really loved his performance. And I said to myself, Legendary's going to go after him for Godzilla because.
Oh my God! You did mention that once.
You remember now.
I do. Well, you mentioned. I forgot about he was. I forgot that he was in. Dude, I forgot he was in Inception. So I mean, remembering the fact that you mentioned it, it was association. I do remember that now. Yeah. Wow. And now we happen to know a character he's playing, who clearly we all love, based on what podcast we're in.
I still doubt he's playing Dr. Serizawa because.
Wait, I thought that was officially confirmed.
No, well, not formally. I mean, if you type in his name on the Muto database, it'll say, "Did you mean Dr. Serizawa?" But
so he's clearly Dr. Serizawa because if you do that with Bryan Cranston, it does the same thing with Ford.
But here's the thing, and Legendary's been known for, well, not Legendary, but if past marketing has been any indication, they can lie to the fans. They can set up something and then just twist it around when the film is released. They did that with The Dark Knight Rises with what's her
Robin.
name? Robin.
No,
Robin.
Talia.
Robin and
Talia.
Robin too, and Talia, where Christian Bale literally said, "I will quit Batman if Christopher Nolan introduces Robin into the franchise." And look what they ended up doing. And then what's her face? I forgot the name of the actress who played Talia al Ghul. She said she stressed to the fans that I am not playing Talia al Ghul. And what happens at the end of yeah.
Same thing happened with Khan.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like everybody swore up and down, I am not Khan.
And
again,
I'm sorry.
And even again, like what?
I'm sorry. Whenever someone mentions Khan, I have to yell it out.
Yeah. That's how embarrassing that would be if you were like with a bunch of Mortal Kombat fans and they were talking about Shao Kahn. You'd be making a Star Trek reference.
I love that moment in Marvel.
Yes.
The Joker screams, God!
The Joker,
and Superman's like, shut the fuck up.
Of course, I love Joker making the Khan reference. Yes.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it, especially since DC crossed over with Star Trek recently. Oh,
how the fuck did that work?
It was Legion of Superheroes and TOS. Well, they're time travelers and interdimensional travelers.
Hey, the Star Trek already crossed over with the X-Men, okay? So at this point, I think that's like...
Happened twice. It happened twice.
Legends of what? What was the name of the crossover with Star Trek and DC?
Legion of Superheroes and Star Trek. It was IDW that did that book. It was their precursor to doing Doctor Who Star Trek, which I didn't read, but I heard was awful.
Okay.
That sucks, dude. I've been waiting for that for so long. It sucks. Anyway.
Yeah, so like the final story, not story, but the final event that I have was like super recent, where Nelson Mandela unfortunately passed away at the age of 95. Again, another
sad stuff.
Yeah, we had like
very sad stuff.
Well, we should, at least acknowledge the people who passed away, just like how the Academy Awards always.
This is supposed to be a comedy podcast.
Let me just damn it, what's the word? Okay, let me just say that I'm glad Andres mentioned Nelson Mandela instead of Paul Walker as everyone else is. Okay, I understand.
Yes.
I understand he died. But people are mourning over him like as if they knew the dude. I'm sorry for his death. I'm sorry for his family. But no one is even mourning for the other guy that died with him. That's kind of messed up. Just because he wasn't famous.
Here's the thing. It's happened before. I mean, look at Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson died, and this is a little different because it wasn't like a major political figure. But if a major actor dies, if somebody dies after that, it's like who nobody knows because everybody is so wrapped up in the story of what happened with the first one. After the day Michael Jackson died, Farrah Fawcett died. Significantly less well-known actress. But it was depressing because on the cover of People magazine that featured the death of Michael Jackson, a little box on the side of the cover said, "Oh, by the way, Farrah Fawcett died." wasn't that exact wording, but that was basically it. How, like, if you're the family of Farrah Fawcett, like, oh, that's got to sting somewhere, right? I mean, but yeah, it's horrible. I mean, being somebody who grew up, with Nelson Mandela being this figure that you always heard about,
right.
It was a big shock. I mean, it was like, wow. He's kind of like Ray Harryhausen. He seems like one of those guys who's so major that it was like, oh, God.
You never think they were going to die because they've always been there.
I follow Idris Elba on Twitter, and he tweeted a very heartfelt tweet about the death of Mandela, and he said, to say I felt honored to play him would be an understatement. It was a service to a really major figure. It's terrible. And every person who passed away in December is really, really sad. Paul Walker, Nelson Mandela, everybody. Death sucks.
On a more lighter note, and this doesn't disrespect Nelson Mandela to any degree, but I don't know if this is legit or not, but I think on Morgan Freeman's Twitter, he took to saying, "I am not dead, you assholes." That's Nelson Mandela. So that means people thought he died.
Wait, did he play Nelson Mandela at one point in the movie?
Yeah, he did. He did play Mandela. Oh.
I have to say, you morons, that I am certainly not dead.
I am not dead.
You
I
dumb
feel
motherfuckers.
You sound like Cleveland, too.
Oh, that's nasty. No.
You sound just like Cleveland. My name is Morgan Freeman, and I am not dead. I'm still alive. Staying alive. Freeman out. Oh, God.
Well, at least for now, Morgan Freeman is still alive.
Shut up! He's gonna die pretty soon.
That's gonna be rough. When he and Harrison Ford are gonna be like, oh my God.
No, dear God.
I thought about this recently because I saw Harrison Ford in an interview. I was like, oh my God.
He's old.
Always been there. And if he passes away...
It's going to be really rough for me.
Who?
It's going to be Leonard Nimoy, and it's going to be...
Yeah, he's super old at this point, yeah.
Nimoy, I got freaked out about because, there was a scare, a couple of years ago now, where he was bedridden for fucking weeks, and there was a big concern that he was going to go.
It's basically going to be who's left of the Star Trek characters. Patrick Stewart's going to be the same way. Ian McKellen.
Oh, no.
Stewart's going to be rough. It's these icons of art. Well, here's how you know we're getting old. It's like, or at least older. Like, you hear these middle-aged, film fans talk about how, oh my God, all these actors are passing away who we watched as our youth. And we're like, yeah, they were old. But, like, Harrison Ford, fucking Morgan Freeman, these are dudes we watch on TV every single fucking day. And to see them go, it's like, oh, God. It reminds you that we're all mortal.
Right.
So
at least let's just be grateful that we are able to live in this time where we are alive at the same time as they are.
You want to know who's going to take the cake? Who's going to die? And I'm going to be completely heartbroken. Haru Nakajima.
God.
I've actually been dreading the day that Haru Nakajima would die because he's old, and if I ever had the chance to meet Haru Nakajima, I would tell him that. Well, obviously he would have a translator with him, and I would tell the translator if he can tell him if I can give him a hug because this man has made my childhood so wonderful, and I just want to thank him. I just want to thank him for it, and
you guys are gonna
I am legitimately going to cry the day he dies because
the day that freaking Haru Nakajima passes away is going to
hopefully let's try our best. Like I have a good feeling. I don't know if Haru Nakajima will be at G-Fest, but if he is at G-Fest, I want to try my hardest to be there.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's done it before. I don't know if he's going to do it this year.
No, he's taking quite a few years off because
Apparently he actually is pretty ill, but
yeah, I mean there's an icon from my childhood.
Yeah.
Like, sir, I would be the same as David. I'd be like, dude, I call him dude. Dude, you fucking changed my life. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be standing where I am. I wouldn't be the person I am if you hadn't put on that hot suit and fucking
destroyed shit.
Trampled miniature cities. You literally changed my life, and for the better. Thank you. Just thank you, because honestly, I'm gonna say this very personal thing that I've never said on recording before. Mm-hmm. If I had never seen Godzilla, if I'd never seen King Kong versus Godzilla, you know what I'd probably be doing for a living, and probably be a way more miserable bastard than I already am?
Selling?
I'd be working on cars.
Yeah.
I'd be working on cars, because that's what my dad does, and of all the things that I did in my youth, very little of it that would have led to me become any occupation I could have had. The only thing that led to the occupations I wanted to have was Godzilla. For years I considered getting into science, like biology, because of my interest in Godzilla. Yeah. Aside from that, I wouldn't have had much of a choice other than mechanic or one of the basic professions. Thank you, Godzilla, and thank you,
wait until the day I'm going to say something along these lines. I'm going to say something like, not that I'm knocking Ray Harryhausen. Ray Harryhausen played a huge chunk of my childhood, but the person who needs to get more credit for my childhood, more credit for introducing me to the world of visual effects, is none other than Mr. Eiji Tsuburaya.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to be a happy camper the day that Haruo Nakajima passes away.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. I mean, think about it this way: we're the five of us, including Dylan, who's not here, are going to be alive. Probably, hopefully, I pray we're all going to be alive for when Godzilla turns 100.
Oh.
Oh, fuck!
Wow.
I mean, it's gonna be like,
dude, I'm going to be celebrating when King Kong turns 100 years old. You know.
That's 20 years. I mean, I hope we'll still be alive for that. I mean, that would be like, wow. Yeah. Oh God.
You know, I'm
going to be one devastated motherfucker when Peter Jackson finally kicks the bucket too. I owe
all these people. They're going to die before us. You know.
Well, I owe Peter Jackson my entire career. Really.
I think for me that would be Steven Spielberg. Oh man, I'd be so sad because Steven Spielberg, he made my childhood, man.
Not to change the subject, but we're gonna be old as fuck when Godzilla turns 100. I just checked the calc.
Still doing the SOS podcast.
That would be awesome.
Episode 6.
Shut up, Adam. I like that Godzilla suit.
Change my diapers.
How old would be? I was born in 94, so Godzilla's gonna turn 100 in 2054.
I was born in 92, and I just checked the calculator. I would be 62 by that time.
Same here.
I would be 60.
That's not old. Yeah, it's not old.
That's not
ancient,
but that's old.
Technically senior citizen age.
I just hope that
probably not by.
I just hope that when I'm 60, I'll be as badass as Stallone is right now, still rocking biceps.
Yeah.
You're just like a fucking vegetable sitting in a just because you said that.
Oh,
now.
Shut up! Don't jinx it, man! Don't jinx it.
I'm sorry, Dave, but I just have this image in my mind of you sitting in a bed, some fucking Asian nurse just feeding you tapioca pudding. You just can't move. Oh God, that would be fucked up.
Well, I do want to bring this to attention.
We both happen to be in the same retirement home. We haven't spoken in 20 years. And they just wheel us out to the fucking porch, and I'm just like, hey, Gorzard, you haven't heard that name in 30 years. It's this big emotional
40 years. Dramatic pan up to Old Bill.
Old Bill's fucked up. He's fucking... Oh, he's 600 pounds.
This is going to be me and Bill in the future when we turn 60.
And then the camera pans up to the sky.
Yes!
The camera pans up to the sky and it says, Boomer will live.
Oh, David, that's so gonna be you and me. We're just gonna be sitting in a... Wait, why are we in the hospital?
You never know what happens in a foster home.
No,
especially if it's for imaginary friends.
No, it's gonna be like, hey, Bill, you want to go out for a joyride?
Just like, what is that supposed to mean? I speak out of my 600 pounds of fat.
Do you remember that Adam kid?
I think he's off somewhere doing something more and better with his life. Oh God, my back! Oh,
do you remember that Adam kid when he said that he didn't like the '62 suit?
I still hate him for that.
He loves the '67 suit.
Meredith moved my eyebrows to look angry. Thank you, Meredith. My assistant's name is Meredith.
Can't speak. Quickly, put some peanut butter in his mouth.
Oh, now, David, I gotta ask, which one of us? David, I gotta ask, which one of us has all the tats? Because I got one tattoo right now.
Oh,
How many you rocking?
None. You can be Stallone. I'll be Schwarzenegger.
Fuck you, I'm Stallone.
I'll be Schwarzenegger. He's a Terminator.
I'm gonna be Orson Welles.
Even though you look more like Stallone and I look more like Schwarzenegger.
I'm gonna be Orson Welles. Fuck you all.
So you'll be dead. No, fuck.
He's gonna sell out and do a bunch of commercials.
It's gonna be this audio online where he's just like yelling at the fucking guy ordering him to do the commercial.
Oh, guys.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Dylan's gonna be watching this, and I just realized that he's missing out on a lot of old people jokes that he probably would.
God!
I just want to rub that in his face right now. He's watching.
Fuck you and your weather problems. Fucking excuse. We know you're listening.
I know you're listening.
You're off there in fucking Tennessee sleeping right now. We're still up here, fucking talking our asses off.
Dylan would probably be referencing Stan's granddad from South Park saying, "Kill me now, Billy."
Dylan's gone insane. He's the one everybody talks about in the retirement home, like the crazy guy. Hey, would you remember Dylan? I haven't seen him in 15 years. They keep him locked up in that room over there.
We've never seen Dylan, by the way. Imagine we go all these years without seeing him.
And then coincidentally, before he gets put in the retirement home, he has a major car accident and all of his flesh burns up, and he has to wear bandages like the Invisible Man.
That's so sad but funny.
At least he'll finally look like his Facebook profile picture.
He insists on wearing that hat and those sunglasses. Oh God! He's the one everybody talks about.
I seriously want to know what this individual looks like.
Well,
we're driving the G-Fest together, so I'm gonna fucking find out. And I keep making the joke that he's gonna show up and be like some kind of 45-year-old like serial rapist.
I did know
who's wearing like one of those open 70s shirts exposing his chest hair. Pedo stash.
I do know Dylan is a blonde because I remember I made a blonde joke once and he was like, "Hey!"
Well, I know he's partially. So at least, yeah. I know he's part German.
I just want to say 3 out of the 5 people on Sons of Serizawa are white and have blonde hair and blue eyes.
And part German.
Oh yeah.
We're rocking our
Hitler
German
babies for the win.
Yeah. Imagine if Dylan ends up looking like this. He's being like you're like this abomination. You're like, oh God.
Oh God! If Dylan looks, oh God! If Dylan looks like that, I am going to just die.
You know what's really scary?
Wait.
I know somebody who looks just like that.
Wait. Andres. Which one?
Yes.
Which one? The one to the right or the one to the left?
What do you think?
I'm the guy on the left, and Dylan is on a leash.
Bill,
I have to hold him back from biting
Bill, you got to put this picture up on the video. Dylan's got to see this.
I'll definitely do that.
No, he won't.
No, I'll remember this time, Andres, because I just don't put pictures in spite you.
I should take this picture and put it up as the Toho Nation wallpaper.
No.
If you do it, I will have no objections. Oh God.
No, just like that.
We will freak so many people out because nobody will fucking get it.
Just like the Sun Bears incident.
Yes.
Attack of the Gothopotamus.
God.
Okay, so
SOS. Godzilla-potamus.
So I just want to bring up one last thing before wrapping up.
By the way, guys, we're 3.5 hours in.
This truly is a special.
Oh, yeah.
Not only is this a Christmas, but a New Year's special. So one thing I wanted to bring up was that there's this website that
oh my God. There he goes again.
There's this...
Andres, you gotta let it run its course.
Okay.
You remember the Sun Bears thing? We let that run for like a whole week.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a whole fucking pod devoted to that shit, so you just gotta let them run. Everybody go on Toho Nation.
No.
Now.
Oh, no.
Oh, God damn it. Should we tag Dylan? Should we tag him?
Yes, do it. Oh, God, yes. Tag him as the fucking Gothopotamus.
This time people are going to be prepared. They're going to be like, oh, they must be recording SOS.
Adam, you have to make me the guy on the left, because that'll let Dylan know the joke. If we just make the Gothopotamus Dylan, he might think like, oh, this is a way of them saying they're kicking me out. Oh, okay, good. I thought you made me the Gothopotamus. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, God damn it! No!
Go on Toho Nation, you're gonna see these two fucking freaks.
Be lucky it's on a leash. Oh, God. Oh, God. At least it's not Sun Bear.
Yeah, I don't know which one is worse.
Andres, what is your last story so we can end this fucking farce?
There's this website that's been going on for I believe 6 years called Spill.com, which is this movie review website.
Cinema matinee.
Got $7.50 to pay. Everybody now. It's this amazing amazing website filled with incredibly hilarious people. They're a group of film critics: Corey, Cyrus, Leon, formerly of Carlisle before he went on to become a screenwriter, and of course the co-host 3000. They've been reviewing movies both in audio and.
Hey, you forgot Leon.
I did say Leon.
Yeah, you said Leon.
And they've been reviewing movies. I saw them. I first saw their reviews on YouTube back in 2008, and I've been following them for the last 4 years. And I even had a chance to meet them in person at last year's Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah, really?
Oh my God, I gotta show you my picture if I can find it before this podcast is over. But unfortunately, their website will be coming to a close by the end of the year because the Spill.com is owned by another website called Hollywood.com, and Hollywood.com pretty much let them go. They're kind of like kind of like it's like a layoff. And so Spill.com will be coming to a close by the end of the year. And thankfully, there is this Kickstarter that I shared on Toho Nation that Corey is doing, because as he said, it ain't going down like that. And so he is going to be starting a brand new project from the ground up. But I just want to give my shout out to all of the Spill crew. They have been like Roger Ebert, but to a much grander degree. They are they have been a big influence on me and my dream of becoming a film critic. And they are such a huge inspiration for me. They are the ones that got me. They reinvigorated my passion to film and movie making, and just like finding finding the joy and just talking about movies or like random stuff. And I've always considered, the Sons of Serizawa to be like the Spill.com of the Godzilla community. And
oh, definitely, they were definitely a factor in the tone of SOS and all the other stuff we've done.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very obvious. I mean, there's this clear, the comparison runs with, we spend a lot of time talking about, analyzing film and pop culture and doing it quite seriously, but we also spend an equal amount of time telling heinous jokes with each other.
In other words, as Corey and co-host would call it, the bullshit train.
Well, here's the thing. We do it with the only, like we just did it earlier, we only do it to make each other laugh. And it's this clear fucking outspring of friendship that Spill encapsulated to a T. I love Spill.com.
Just made my black heart beat.
Oh.
I know deep down.
I still love you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So I just want again give my shout out.
Shut up! I want to go to bed.
Corey, and I just hope for the best for all of them.
Likewise, Spill. We probably wouldn't have what the SOS is without Spill.com. So thank you to them for inspiration. I hope they get back on their feet. I have always wanted to meet those guys in person too, because they seem like such fucking fun guys.
Totally. They're just as fun in person.
I wish I'm very jealous.
You got that link?
Wait. Oh, you posted the picture. Cool. I didn't see it. Oh, awesome.
So,
that's
hopefully, awesome. Even though Spill.com may be no more, we still carry on their legacy, because as Corey says, the saga continues, man. The saga continues. The saga keeps saggying, as co-host would follow up with.
Andres has a Batman shirt.
Yes.
89 Batman too.
No, I love 89 Batman.
Shut up. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is our 4-hour Christmas special. Sorry for all the tech glitches. Dylan going in and out and then finally leaving. He barely spoke even when he was here.
I apologize just for saying that. Sorry, this one isn't quite as entertaining as the other ones. This one was definitely a lot more serious.
Yeah, there was I apologize. Blame Andres. No, I gave Andres pitched this idea to me a couple days ago, so I let him go through with it. So, I was glad we got it all out there, and it's good for us to pay our respects who need to be paid respects to. But let's not prolong it any more than needs to be prolonged. Let's just give basic plugs for stuff that's coming soon. For stuff that's already here, go check out World War G4 if you want to see what I would definitely call a companion piece to the Sons of Serizawa podcast. It's done in the same style, and we talk a lot about the Godzilla trailer there. I know a lot of people were expecting us to talk about it on this episode, but go check out World War G4 to check out our thoughts on that. It's a companion piece to this.
Yeah,
so.
I'm gonna say stay tuned for cock.
Yes. Everybody get ready to take a face shot of cock.
Get ready for this cock. And just remember,
Mommy, I'm watching cock on the internet.
Stay tuned for the...
Oh, Jimmy, I raised you better than this.
Stay tuned for the second SOS spin-off show, Watch Super Dynamic Hyperforce Ultra Force Go.
Especially for the intro that a certain member of the Sons of Serizawa spent hours making.
Yep, and that certain member will be credited for it.
No, you won't. What are you talking about?
I always credit everyone who collaborates with me.
Fuck that.
Adam, don't take this away from me. Don't take this away from me. I spent work on that shit.
I oversaw it.
But for the other, fuck you. For the other Sons of Serizawa spin-off show, be sure to check out the Demons from Outer Space weekly podcast. We just posted our Christmas special while this was being recorded, so you can check that out. That's alive. Good episode. Dylan and I talked about a lot of shit. We did a follow-up on our episode about Blackfish, which was fun. And then we talked about Christmas very, very briefly, just like this show. Damn, we just cannot get down on a holiday. Like fucking Halloween turned into the Sun Bear show, and this turned into the every goddamn thing else show. So, yeah, we can't seem to focus on holidays. But does anyone have anything else they want to pimp out? Anything else whatsoever?
I guess since the semester has finally come to an end, I'll be working on my review for Godzilla The Return of Godzilla / Godzilla 1985, because I'm going to be covering both of them, which will hopefully be the start of my look through the Heisei Toho special effects films.
I will not be doing that. Anyway, so anyone else? Adam, David, anything else you want to pimp out?
I am Borzar. Do I need to say more?
Alright, fine.
Everything I upload will be gold.
Someone has a super ego.
Not arrogant at all. Jesus. Anyway, so until next time, I'm Bill Worcester, a.k.a. Zazubaar.
I am Borzard, and the internet bows to no man until now.
Okay.
No.
I'm an extremely tired and exhausted and sore Adam Noyes.
Don't say sore. He was Dylan McCandless, a.k.a. Super DM64.
And I am Andres Perez, a.k.a. Kaiju Noir. And we all wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
And that's going to do it, folks. Thank you very much for listening to the Sons of Serizawa Podcast New Year's Special, Episode 11, Part 2. Thank you very much for supporting us in our first year of activity as a group, as the Sons of Serizawa here on YouTube. Thank you very much for supporting the podcast. I hope you continue to stick with us through the years to come for Sons of Serizawa. 2014 is going to be a big year for us, of course, because we got the new Godzilla movie coming out. We've got lots of projects planned. We're all very excited here at the Sons of Serizawa, and we can't wait to share everything we want to do with you guys at home. And we thank you again for your support and for joining Toho Nation on Facebook, which is essentially the group page for the Sons of Serizawa, people who are like our show, but Godzilla fans in general, and Japanese kaiju fans in general. So if you fit into any of those demographics, go ahead and join Toho Nation on Facebook. We give updates on the show there, when it's recording, when it'll go up, stuff like that. So it's a good idea to join the page if you're a fan of the show, or if you're a Godzilla fan in general. Hook up with some other great Godzilla fans there, and you guys can have some fun. Anyway, so I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you very much for listening to the Sons of Serizawa Podcast, Episode 11, Part 2. I'm Bill Worcester, they're the Sons of Serizawa, and the science is sound.